Hurricanes, Drew, who present a formidable challenge for David McWilliams in only his second ball game.
There's no question about that, Bill. The Miami Hurricanes are rated second in the nation, both the AP and the UPI polls. They come off a big victory last week against up in Florida against Florida, the Gators, and they got a game in 2 weeks against the OU Sooners, the #1 ranked team in the country. So we're hoping they're going to overlook our Texas Tech Red Raiders tonight.
Last meeting between these two teams in 1941. Hurricanes won that game 6-0. In fact, there have been only 3 meetings between these two. Miami leads the series 2-1. But when the Hurricanes came to Lubbock in 1940, the Red Raiders beat them 61-14. I'm sure David McWilliams would take a repeat of that tonight. Miami won the toss, and they will receive, defending the gold, to our left. Weather conditions at kickoff, 87 degrees, partly cloudy skies, 57% humidity, Drew, and that could work to Tech's disadvantage. Hopefully it won't.
Yeah, it's very humid here, and it's been hot all day here in Florida. But the humidity is a big part, and the cool breeze is coming in off the ocean, but for the most part, the humidity will be the big factor as far as the weather's concerned.
I'll look at David McWilliams, 43 years old, make that 44 years old. His counterpart, Jimmy Johnson of Miami, is 43. McWilliams was admittedly nervous in his first game last week, but his Red Raiders went out and beat Kansas State 41-7. Crowd of they'll say around 50,000 expected here at the Orange Bowl tonight as the Hurricanes play their home opener. They have won 12 consecutive regular season games, beat South Carolina 2 weeks ago 34-14, and over Florida 23-15 last week. Scott Segrist will kick off, and a young man we expect to see returning the kickoff, and I love this name, J.C. Penney, will be the deep return man for the Miami Hurricanes. So we are set to go. This is game 2 of the '86 season, as Scott Segrist, who kicked 4 field goals last week, the son of former Texas Tech baseball coach Cal Segrist, is ready to go. And let's play football here at the Orange Bowl. J.C. Penney will take it at the 3, and here he comes. Hit hard, James Mosley, and flags fly. Mosley was the first man to make contact. James Nixon joined him. Nixon had an interception last week, and a penalty on the kickoff. You normally think, Drew, of a possible return violation against Miami.
Well, I think we have. It's a 24-yard return by J.C. Penney, first of all. And I think we might have had a face mask. Looked like Tech player Mosley tackled the player a little high, might have got the face mask.
Uh-oh.
Nope. Of course
Offside.
not.
Well, I missed it all. Well, no, it's offsetting. They have a face mask against Tech. Yes,
Okay.
they do.
All right.
Frank Shepard, Bob Welch, Bob Jones, Hunter Jackson, Bobby McGrath, Mike Wetzel, and Bobby Bernard. Some of these officials from the Southwest Conference, and some of them from the Southern Independent Association, and with offsetting penalties, they will kick it off again. They will bring it back to the 35 and just do the play over again. Offsides against Miami, which is unusual on a kickoff. They lined up wrong. And then face mask against the Red Raiders. Notice Segrist is kicking from the 35, a new rule this year in college football, which could work to Texas Tech's advantage with guys like Tyrone Thurman, Wayne Walker, people like that returning kickoffs for them.
Well, Bill, what was happening, all the kickers are so strong coming into the college ranks. They're kicking the ball in the end zone and out of the end zone, and we're getting any returns. And now they decided to move it to the 35, and now we're getting some returns. It is an exciting part of the football game.
This has to be a special feeling for you. 5 Super Bowls played here. You played in 2 of them.
I certainly did, and we lost both of them, and I'm really pumped up. Coach McWilliams needs me. Just call me.
Hopefully, Drew will bring the Red Raiders good luck tonight. We're underway again. Segrist kick a little bit short. Will come down at the 15-yard line. The return, bowling his way out to the 30, is number 26, Cleveland Gary. Only a sophomore. He is a transfer from the University of Georgia, who played a season at Georgia and then decided to come to Miami of Florida. A 14-yard return for Cleveland Gary. The wide receivers and backs and the quarterback for Miami, Vinny Testaverde, the All-American Heisman candidate quarterback. Melvin Bratton with 5 touchdowns. Highsmith, the fullback, is a good one. Charles Henry, the new tight end. Brett Perryman starting in place of Brian Blades. Scott Provin, John O'Neill, the All-American Rakazi along the line. And we'll set the Tech defense in a moment. Brad Hastings is starting tonight. And at the 29-yard line, Testaverde will roll. He'll throw it to Highsmith, who has a lot of room and a big gainer up to the 50-yard line. He hurdled one of the Texas Tech defenders, Michael Johnson, at about the 40-yard line. 21-yard gain, Drew.
Well, Bill, what they did here is they took everybody deep in the Tech secondary, and they just swung a little swing pass to Highsmith coming out of the backfield. Work for a big play.
Highsmith had 3 catches last week in the win over Florida. 1st and 10 into Texas Tech territory already. Red Raiders showing their 4-3 defensive look. And this is Bratton for about 3 yards down to the 46-yard line. Michael Johnson, who had 11 tackles last week, 4 of them for losses, is the first man there. 2nd down and 7 to go. Boysaw, the converted tight end. Artis Jackson, the senior from Dallas. Danny Schwertner and the pass rushing specialist Calvin Riggs from Midland Lee. Brad Hastings, his first start of the season, first live action since last year. He missed the spring also with knee problems. Mitchell, Everett Jones, and Merv Skurlark making his first start. He's had all sorts of injury problems also. Testaverde on the screen pass. Highsmith wide open, big yardage again, and he gets all the way to the 20-yard line. Completely fooled there, the Red Raiders. Roland Mitchell finally brought him down, but Texas Tech having to survive a thrust here in the early going.
This time Miami catches Tech in a blitz. You see Hastings coming on the inside, but Testaverde, he spots his man, Highsmith, on the flank. The receivers are running the DBs deep, and Highsmith's taking it up. Nobody's reacting.
Number 5, Melvin Bratton, with a very nice block there. The Red Raiders have Boyd Cowan into the ball game. Returned that interception 83 yards last week. Another first down. Second one of this drive at the Tech 20. Highsmith, a busy young man tonight, and he doesn't get much. Guess who's in the middle of that pile? Brad Hastings, who's matched up against Greg Rakazi, an All-American center for the University of Miami.
Well, that time Brad Hastings showed why he is one of the top linebackers in the country this year, and he can stop that run with the best of them.
Here's a 2nd and 9. This, Drew, is the first 2nd and long Miami has faced so far in this drive.
Well, they like these type of situations because they have to throw the ball when they got a quarterback like Testaverde. They like to put it up.
Bottom of your screen is Michael Irvin. Split backs behind Testaverde. Good protection, and he goes to Charles Henry. Touchdown, Miami. A 20-yard completion. Testaverde to Charles Henry. Drew?
Well, they aligned everybody out wide, and they got the middle open. You see Tech in his own defense, spreading it out. And he just runs a nice post route on the inside and takes it in for the touchdown.
Beating Leonard Jones.
Watch Testaverde, how quick he sets up. The man is 6'5", runs a 4.8 40. And he's got a great throwing arm with a nice touch, and he just lays it in there for the easy 6 points.
Not terrible coverage on the part of Tech. That was just a great pass. And here is Mark Seelig on to try the extra point. He had a bushel of field goals last week, and it's 7-0 Miami with 12:48 to go in the first quarter. That was a 5-play, 71-yard drive, used 1:57, and Alonzo Highsmith, those 2 passes out of the backfield were very key.
Well, it was key because they caught the Texas Tech Red Raiders in a blitzing situation. Testaverde's a very smart quarterback, and the height he has, he can spot that, and he just dumped it off to Highsmith for the big gainers.
Keith Henderson, who led the nation in kickoff returns 2 years ago, is one of the deep men, number 34, and Wayne Walker, not slow of foot himself, also back there to the top of your screen in just a moment as we give you another look at the stats on that drive. Seelig will kick off. This one not very deep. Walker will take it on the run at the 12. Not much available for him as the Hurricanes down him at about the 26-yard line. Bubba McDowell of Miami there to bring him down. So here's Tech on offense for the first time tonight. Billy Joe Tolliver, the motorcycle-riding sophomore quarterback there, along with Urban Ferris and Clifton Winston. Kevin Sprinkles, a true freshman tight end. The flex in, Tim Tannehill, a converted quarterback, and Wayne Walker. Along the offensive line, Chris Tanner, the All-Southwest Conference center, has his hands full this evening with that Miami front line, as do all of his buddies up front. George Myra Jr. is not starting in the middle tonight. We'll talk about that in a moment. First pass to Tannehill, a bit long from Tolliver to Tannehill, who caught 8 passes last week, but a little bit too long for him that time. Tolbert Bain on the coverage.
Well, they're going to come out throwing. Aaron McMail is right in tune. They're going to come out throwing the football.
These guys, these front linemen, Dan Stubbs, Derwin Jones, Jerome Brown, an All-American, weighs 285 pounds. Bill Hawkins, they had 13 sacks in 2 weeks. Winston Moss, the key linebacker there, and 4 fine defensive backs under the direction of the former Texas Tech secondary coach, Carlos Maynard. Here's Tolliver to Travis Price, and he's near first down yardage at about the 36-yard line. Bain on the stop again. They've thrown it to him twice so far. And Travis Price is another converted quarterback. So these two guys, the flex ends, as we take a look. It's almost the replay.
Excuse me, Bill. It's almost the same play they opened the game with, and it was open early. They just couldn't make the connection. This time they make the connection to Travis Price. Travis Price and Tannehill will be sending in the plays from the bench.
Well, this is second down, and, well, it could be a first down, but they're going to measure. It'll most likely be a second down and short. Third down and short, check that. And so the measurement here early on is the Red Raiders get the first down. I thought he might have cut. I was beginning to think he'd come up a little short, but the second effort is what got him the first. Good effort by Travis Price.
Excellent effort, excellent catch, excellent execution on the play. It's very important that Texas establishes a good drive here in their opening series, because Miami took the opening kickoff and went right down and scored. Tech has to show that they're in this ball game also.
In talking with John Mize earlier this week, the Tech offensive coordinator, he said the short passes would be the key. Control short passes, and so far the Red Raiders are using that. And here's Tannehill again. Tannehill for about 6. Now, if they can do that all night long, they'll be back in this ball game.
Well, that was a pass to Tannehill, the flex end, and it was a half sprint rollout type setup for Tolliver, and he just hit Tannehill on the play. And that play is there, and they'll take it as long as it's there.
Kelly Robinson of the Sports Information Office at Texas Tech, our spotter tonight, tells me that Irvin Ferris had a good block on that play. Tolliver 19 of 40 with a touchdown pass last week in the win over Kansas State. Here is a second down and about 5 with 3 wide receivers in the pattern. He's looking for Eddie Anderson, and that one comes up a bit short. Ferris was also in the pattern. I'm not sure who he was going to. It was way off the mark, almost intercepted. So here is a third down and 5. And a key play, if there can be one this early in a ball game, because Texas Tech needing to continue this drive and try to get some points here after being stunned early.
Yeah, it's a good situation on 3rd and 5. You can come with a draw play, or you can hit that short out, or you can throw it deep. So there's a lot of options here for Texas Tech.
Okay, they have wide receivers in the pattern, 4 of them spread out across the field, including Tyrone Thurman, but the draw play goes to the fullback, Clifton Winston, who had 2 carries for only 6 yards last week. He almost doubled that on that 1 carry.
Well, Tech here's the half sprint out action. Tolliver will hand it off to Winston, and he takes it up. There's a big hole there. Great blocking by the Tech offensive line. Winston takes a pretty good lick there, but he holds on to the football.
Benny Blades had to come up from his safety position, Drew, to make the stop there. And now the Red Raiders are showing some offensive ability. They had 440 yards of total offense last week after averaging only 335 a game last year, 100 yards more than their average from 85 last week alone. Tolliver, good protection. Open was Tannehill, make that Travis Price, and the ball just overthrown. A tough one there, because Price was open for a moment. Tolliver just missed him by not a great deal there.
Well, Bill, that time they took Price a little deeper. They ran him short in the first 2 offensive plays, and this time they took him a little deeper on the corner route, but Tolliver was just a little long with the throw. 59 yards rushing by Florida last week against Miami. So the running game, as we face 2nd and 10 here, is not, so far has not been successful. But here's Ferris making a mockery of that statement with an 11-yard gain over the right side. Good blocking out there by, among others, David Stickles. Tolliver is 2 of 5. 15 yards passing, but this was all on the ground, and good blocking up front there, Drew. Well, Bill, you mentioned good blocking, but also good running by Ferris. Watch the cut back there. He sees a little daylight. daylight, he turns it on and takes it right upfield. You can see the power of Ferris on that play.
The young man who sprung that one, the tackle Aubrey Richburg, who is now one of the seniors along the Tech offensive line. So good block there, and a first down 10 as Tolliver looks to the near side of the field as Travis Price gets clobbered as he goes to the ball. It was a bit wide, and a second down upcoming for the Red Raiders. Tolliver now 3, make that 2 of 6 passing early on. John Mize, the Tech offensive coordinator, on the sidelines alongside David McWilliams. That's different coaches have different philosophies on that, Drew. Some like to be in the press box. Mize likes to be on the sidelines where he can talk directly with his quarterbacks. And here is a second down and 10 with 10:38 to play here in the first quarter at the Orange Bowl. Ball at the 37. Tolliver wants to throw again. Plenty of time. Man out there, but the interception is made by Benny Blades, number 36. Blades with 2 interceptions coming into the game. Give him another one, 3 on the season. They were trying to hit Clifton Winston, the fullback.
Well, you see the replay on the end zone shot here. Tolliver on a roll to the left and going to throw back to the right. And he's just a little overthrowing on a little long on the throw, overthrowing the receiver there.
That was Clifton Winston on the tackle. The intended receiver was Wayne Walker. Again, good protection out there.
Excellent protection for Tolliver. They're trying to throw that ball to the inside receiver in that flex formation, but that time the Miami Hurricanes were ready for it.
All right, they have an I formation facing Tech's 4-3 defensive alignment. Long count by Testaverde, and this is Mr. Melvin Bratton again. Not much there. Artis Jackson, big number 69, at the bottom of that pile. Be sure to be watching Monday at 5 when the Beverly Hillbillies move to their new time period, followed by Alice at 5:30, Too Close for Comfort at 6, and Give Me a Break at 6:30, right here on KJTV, Channel 34. We are happy to be in Miami, Florida. The Orange Bowl, site of the great New Year's Day game, home of the Miami Dolphins, site of 5 Super Bowls, and right now home to the second-ranked team in the nation facing a 2nd and 8. Testaverde in trouble, but great job of getting it out of the backfield to Melvin Bratton under pressure. James Johnson brings him down. Give Testaverde credit, Drew. He hung in there tough despite the pressure and got the ball to the right man.
Nice play by Testaverde to step up in the pocket. Calvin Riggs on the outside putting a lot of pressure on him. He steps up in the pocket. That's what a quarterback's supposed to do. And there's a nice catch by Melvin Bratton showing his versatility. He can not only run the football, but he can catch it also.
The publicity machine here at Miami has been touting him since the end of last season as a Heisman Trophy candidate. Vinny was intercepted 3 times last week, and he wants a big game tonight. The Red Raiders are determined to make sure that doesn't happen. But this screen pass has been working so far this evening, and Highsmith tries it again. Not as much success this time. Gets about 6 out of it before the Red Raiders corral him out there. Boys saw in the pass rush Leonard Jones, the man to make the tackle. Jones, the rover.
Well, the Hurricanes got this pass rush. They know Testaverde is going to throw the ball, so they're going to drop it out on the screens. A nice setup and a good job by the Red Raiders to strip the interference in the blocking situation and go ahead and make the tackle.
Here's a 2nd and 4, again in Red Raider territory. 3 down linemen. 4 deep backs. Testaverde, Highsmith's 4th catch of the night, and he may go all the way. Alonzo Highsmith, touchdown from 49 yards out.
Well, Testaverde's taking advantage of his backs. He's spreading his wide receivers out wide, letting the backs roam in the middle, and there's a lot of room inside. And Alonzo Highsmith shows why he's a top back, one of the top backs in the country. Nice straight arm there, and there's the speed down the sideline. And the Red Raiders can't catch him before he gets in the end zone.
Highsmith has had a fine career here, has over 1,500 yards rushing, but not noted as a pass receiver. They're taking a page out of Tech's playbook by throwing to the backs, and Highsmith has been wide open on that play every time so far tonight. And here is Seelig to try the extra point. It's 13-0. Make it 14-0. 8:31 to play here in the first quarter, and the second-ranked Hurricanes off to a very good start. Miami hasn't wasted much time. Their first drive took 1:57. This one took 1:56. 4 plays, 74 yards. 51-yard strike to Highsmith, and Drew Testaverde is perfect so far tonight passing.
Yeah, he's 6 for 6 with 130 yards and 2 TDs. Highsmith has caught 4 of the passes for 105 yards and 1 of those touchdowns.
Well, 14-0. Miami on top early. Home opener, so they're pumped up. And here it goes on the kickoff. This is Wayne Walker. Walker, not much available to him. Inside the 20, ball loose on the carpet, but the ground cannot cause a fumble, and the Texas Tech Red Raiders get to keep the ball and set up offense is George Myra Jr. down there to make the stop for the Miami Hurricanes. Myra not starting tonight as a middle linebacker. Bernard Clark, number 57, a freshman from Tampa. They have given no reason as to why Myra is not starting, although the Hurricanes have had all sorts of disciplinary problems over the last month or so. A couple of players accused of one player accused of shoplifting, one accused of assault. Myra was. That charge was dropped, but he's not playing tonight. And Tannehill on first down, just out of his reach. Winston Moss on the coverage. I think he may have tipped the ball. So Tolliver having a little bit of trouble right now getting this ball between the linebackers and the secondary.
Well, Bill, they've been running that same play. I believe it's the 5th time they ran that play. They're trying to go to that flex end on the inside, and he's there, but the connection is not working at this point.
Well, Tolliver not off to a great start. Red Raiders did get into Miami territory a bit earlier, but Benny Blades intercepted a Tolliver pass, and that set up the touchdown. Tolliver under a heavy rush, and that one was tipped. I believe Winston Moss got a hand on it. If not, it was Dan Stubbs, who had 4 sacks last week against Florida. It was Stubbs. That's a pretty formidable defensive line to face. 6'4" Stubbs, followed by 6'3" Winston Moss, an All-American.
Well, Stubbs is a heck of a pass rusher. See him, he gets his hands up, and he just gets a piece of the ball, and that's what a defensive end is supposed to do when he gets that bead on the quarterback. Throw those hands up and make that throw tougher for the quarterback.
Billy Joe Tolliver, 2 of 9 so far, 15 yards. Was a slow starter last week. Perhaps he can turn it around. Has time here, rolling out, has all day, throws it into a crowd, and that one was almost intercepted. Bruce Perkins, the intended receiver, Tolbert Payne broke it up. Perkins has 8 career catches in Tech, 3 of them for touchdowns, but not that time. And it is 4th down in a punting situation, so for the first time tonight, we will see Jamie Simmons, the freshman punter for Texas Tech, who had a 40-yard average last week. Only 1 of his 6 kicks returned. And standing deep is Brent Perryman, who will take it at about his own 42 under a heavy contained rush back there, and the Red Raiders bring him down at the 42-yard line. So with 8:02 left to play here in the first quarter, Miami leading Texas Tech 14-0. Well, the Miami Hurricanes have had good success against Southwest Conference teams over the years. 1973, that man, David McWilliams, came here to Miami as a defensive assistant for the Texas Longhorns, who were ranked #1 in the nation at that time, and they were upset. Miami leads the Southwest Conference in its all-time series 22-18. Last year, they hammered Rice 48-20 down in Houston. So other Southwest Conference teams have felt the brunt of this Miami attack before. With 8 minutes to go here in the first period, Testaverde looking at Tech's 4-3 defensive alignment. I count 4 men in the secondary, the 3 linebackers. Tony Durden, the middle linebacker, and he puts a big hit there on the Miami running back at the 43-yard line after a gain of about 1. That was Melvin Bratton on the carry. 5 touchdowns so far for Bratton as Durden leaves the ball game and Hastings comes back in. Is Brad coming back into the game? Apparently not. They expect a pass, so they bring in an extra DB. 2nd and 8. What will Vinny Testaverde do here? I see Keith Henderson as an additional defensive back into the game, so nickel formation here. 5 defensive backs for the Red Raiders. Heavy pass rush. Riggs coming. Jackson chasing. So is Michael Johnson. Testaverde scrambling for the first down. And Bart Rager drives him out at the 40-yard line. Vinny Testaverde, a 15-yard gain. Drew, it's a well-kept secret that Testaverde's a good runner. He was a veer quarterback in high school.
He certainly is a good runner. He's a good athlete. And watch the move there, and he just does enough to get around that defensive guy, and he just takes it out the sideline, smart enough to get out of bounds and avoid the lick.
We know the Red Raiders can rush the passer well, and they did that time. But Testaverde able to overcome that. The Red Raiders did very well at getting the pass rush that time. Testaverde just able to get to the outside, so another first down with 7:14 to play in the first period. It's 14-0 Miami, split backs, and Vinny going to the near side, almost intercepted. He was looking for Irvin, and Eric Everett, the younger brother of Baylor All-American Thomas Everett, going after the interception. A nice gutsy move on his part, particularly when you're down 2 touchdowns. It never hurts to go for a gamble, I don't suppose.
That was a nice move by Eric Everett on the play. Testaverde he saw something in the Tech defense. He tried to audibilize at the line of scrimmage, but Eric Everett was not fooled on the play.
And a penalty flag down that we caught after the play was over, and it looks like a 10-yard walk-off. And we'll wait for the indication. Guess what? Holding.
Well, Bill, maybe this is what the Red Raiders need. They need to take some of this momentum out of the Miami Hurricane offense, and maybe something like this will slow the Hurricane down.
Well, Vinny Testaverde has finally missed a throw. He's 6 of 7 now for 130 yards and 2 touchdowns. Out of the eye, the wide receivers, Perryman and Irvin. Big rush coming. Eddie Kittle misses. And now Testaverde has room to roam, almost picked off by the Red Raiders. That was Gary Warren. One of the linebackers in the pattern there did a nice job of covering Melvin Bratton. And the Red Raiders are now in a 2nd and 20 situation as Kittle did a good job of getting the pass rush on Testaverde and drove him out of the pocket.
Well, the Red Raiders are getting a nice pass rush from the outside, but they're not getting any help from their inside people. And Testaverde's just stepping up in the pocket and getting that time he needs to throw downfield.
Here we go. 14-0. See what the Red Raiders can do. Trailing by 2 touchdowns. 2nd and 20 after accepting that holding penalty a moment ago. Split formation to the near side. Irvin is at the bottom of your screen in a slot. Red Raiders fake the blitz briefly and drop it off as Testaverde looks for Melvin Bratton. Has him. Flags fly. It'll be short, close, but I think short of a first down. But a flag did appear to fly. Maybe I caught a dirty handkerchief or something going down. 17-yard gain. And right over the Tech linebackers, Melvin Bratton, who's only 5'9", down there to get that one. No flag on the play. I saw the referee throw something, but it was not one of those yellow handkerchiefs. So it's 3rd down and short. Call it 3rd and about 3, with the Red Raiders showing a 5-man front alignment here. No backs in the formation. Testaverde wants to throw. Blitz coming from Boysaw. Big hit, but maybe enough for a first down. The completion by Miami to Perryman, Michael Johnson, and Roland Mitchell in on the stop. They drilled him, but Perryman hung on to the football, and that'll move the sticks again.
You know, Bill, every play is designed for a certain amount of yardage to pick up, and that was just a play designed to get the first down. It was 3rd and 3, and they executed it very well.
Into Tech territory again. This ball is at the 30. And the Red Raiders this is a must-stop situation, I would think, right now for Texas Tech.
Yeah, they have to buckle down and really dig in and try to stop this Miami Hurricane offense.
Well, here comes Highsmith. Good receiver, pretty good runner, too, but a great job of pursuit by the Red Raider defense, including Michael Johnson, who's been all over the field so far tonight, Merv Scarlock, and Ricky Boysaw. So we need to take a break. 5:40 to go in the first period. 14-0 Miami. Second and 13 for the Hurricanes as they lose 3. The screen pass to Highsmith didn't work that time. Ball at the 33, and Testaverde looking to throw again. He's going deep. Has Irvin. Touchdown, Miami. That's 9 straight games that Michael Irvin has caught a touchdown pass. He had one last week against the University of Florida.
Well, looking at one of the best receivers in the country. He's only a sophomore, but he's still one of the top. He runs by Keith Henderson on the play. Testaverde just lays it in there. Henderson makes a nice effort to try to recover, but it's all Irvin on that play. Michael Irvin, one of the top receivers in the country, despite being a sophomore.
Yeah, that's the key right there. He has excellent speed, was a freshman All-American, and on top of that, he's 6'2". So he's a definite pro prospect, I would think. So here's Seelig, who's been very busy so far tonight, coming on to make it 21-0. 21-0 in favor of the Miami Hurricanes. And Drew, that again a drive that took a little bit longer than the first two, but Miami has shown marvelous firepower despite the fact that the Red Raiders are getting a pretty good pass rush.
Yeah, unfortunately for the Red Raiders, the Hurricane doing anything they want to do, and they're just moving the ball downfield, whether it's by the run or by the pass, and everything has been working for them to this point. Texas Tech Red Raiders are getting a good pass rush from the outside. Testaverde, being a smart quarterback that he is just stepping up in the pocket and finding his receivers. And he does have some excellent receivers on the flanks and at the running backs coming out of the backfield position. That drive took 8 plays, 57 yards, and this time was 2 minutes and 28 seconds for the touchdown.
All right, Tyrone Thurman, one of the kickoff return men in the game now. Henderson sits, Wayne Walker, and Papa Smurf, Tyrone Thurman, is back there to return the kick. So this will be the first extensive duty that we've had a chance to watch our old buddy Thurman tonight, Drew. So let's hope that he gets a good situation here. We are live at the Orange Bowl in Miami, Florida. Texas Tech trailing the Hurricanes, the second-ranked Miami Hurricanes, 21-0. 3 touchdown passes for Vinny Testaverde, short kickoff by Mark Seelig, and that's a look at Wayne Walker, the sophomore wide receiver from Waco, who gets the ball out to the 25-yard line where Robert Thomas brings him down. So the Red Raiders are on offense here, and let's take a look again at the Texas Tech offensive alignment is Billy Joe Tolliver, the sophomore from Boyd, who was 2 of 9 in his first 9 tries tonight. Off to a bit of a slow start. The quarterback, along with Wayne Walker, Eddie Anderson, number 1. The flex in is Travis Price. And we'll check the running backs and offensive linemen for you in a moment. First down and 10 against a 3-4 alignment for Miami. Flag down, pass out in the flat. That's Irvin Ferris, and he gets 8 yards. Don Ellis made the stop there, and we'll check the flag in a moment. Vinny Testaverde, 3 touchdown passes in there, indicating initially a split crew of officials tonight, part from the Southwest Conference and part from the Southern Independent here in the Florida area. Offsides, Miami. Take a look at the play again, Drew.
Yeah, you see the defensive end there jumping offside. He's trying to get back. That's Jerome Brown. No, that's Stubbs there, excuse me. Tried to get back, but good snap count, good cadence by Billy Joe Tolliver to draw the 5-yard penalty.
And obviously Tolliver takes the 5-yard penalty to save the down. So it is now 1st and 5 instead of 2nd and 2. As number 16, Tim Tannehill, checks into the ball game to bring in, shuttle the play in for the Red Raiders. Tech, 37 yards of total offense to 207 so far for the second-ranked Hurricanes. The center, as always, Chris Tanner. Aubrey Richburg, one of the tackles. In motion, Ferris. 1st and 5. This is Isaac Garnett, the sophomore fullback from Midland Lee. Not much there for him. And here's a 2nd down 3 situation as Dan Stubbs comes on to make the tackle again.
Now, that's the key situation. You got 2nd and 3. They want to go ahead and pick up this 1st down now to try to avoid that 3rd and 3 situation, or 3rd 2, 3rd and 1. They got to get that 1st down now. Keep this drive going.
For Miami defensively, top of your screen, number 96, Dan Stubbs. Bill Hawkins, number 54, at the bottom of your screen. 3 down linemen. expecting a good pass rush here. Don't get it. Pass nearly knocked down. Ferris not able to get it in the flat. Dan Stubbs is quite a target to throw over out there. And Tolliver not able to do it. So, Drew, they face a 3rd and 3, and they have to have it if they're going to keep this drive going.
Well, they certainly need it. And I would try to throw away from Stubbs over there because he presents an opposing figure when he puts his hands up and gets in the face of Billy Joe Tolliver. So let's see if they try to come to the right, to the left side this time.
Again, the Tech plays shuttled in by their flex ends, Tannehill and Price. And Tolliver looking to the sideline to call his first timeout of the evening. You get 3 per half. And Billy Joe Tolliver wants to go over and talk to David McWilliams and his offensive coordinator, John Mize, also a former assistant at the University of Texas, doing an excellent job at getting this pass offense installed. Next Sunday, September 21st, it's the premiere of Stars and Stripes Cinema. The greatest war movies each Sunday at 7 right here on KJTV Channel 34. Attempting something tonight that no other Lubbock television station has ever tried, originating a Texas Tech game on the road from the Orange Bowl in Miami, Florida. Bill Coates along with Drew Pearson. And the Red Raiders are in some trouble right now, but with plenty of time to try to get back into this ball game. How about that? They're not completely without fans. In fact, several hundred are here. That sign, by the way, provided by Phil Price Advertising in the Lubbock area. So, hello Lubbock from KJTV 34, Miami, Texas, it says. A lot of Red Raider fans. Again, we estimated about 1,000 here tonight. They're sitting behind the Red Raider bench. In fact, you can see the band at the bottom of your screen there. Oh, about the 25-yard line. Well, that graphic tells a lot, Drew. Look at the passing yardage, the difference in yardage so far.
Well, and Tech lives and dies by the pass, and they need to get that up if they're going to be successful this evening.
Here's a 3rd and 3 with 4 receivers in the formation. Actually, 3 receivers and Ferris in motion. Tolliver under a heavy rush has to flip it away to Walker, and the ball is on the ground and recovered by Wayne Walker, but a punting situation. That, I believe, was a reverse in the making that they just smelled out, and it was stopped before it ever got going.
Yeah, they try to reverse in this situation. They're going to fake it, the handoff, try to slow down the pass rush from the Hurricane, and there's lack of execution on that play. It's a tough call on 3rd and 3.
A gamble. Sometimes that gamble pays off for you, but it didn't there. Again, Miami with an exceptional pass rush, 13 quarterback sacks in 2 games coming in, and motion along the line of scrimmage, and a flag flies. 4:02 to play here in the opening quarter at the Orange Bowl.
18 from the 17-yard line.
Miami leading by 3 touchdowns, and Texas Tech forced to go back on defense pending the outcome of this upcoming punt. An offsides against Miami won't be enough to give Texas Tech the first down by a long shot, but we'll give them a little bit more punting room for Jamie Simmons, a freshman from Aldine, who David McWilliams says is the first punter that they've actually recruited at Texas Tech in about 13 years. They had Maury Buford a few years ago out in Lubbock. You all will remember him, who now punts for the Chicago Bears. He was a great one, but apparently he wasn't recruited as a punter. But this kid Simmons, they think enough of him that they actually went out and sought him, and he did a good job last week. This one a bit of an end-over-end kick, and it will come to David Kintai at the 45-yard line. Red Raiders do an excellent job of getting there. Tony Durden among the players making the stop for the Red Raiders on the punt coverage. So here's Vinny Testaverde to set up shop at his own 40-yard line, and there's a Red Raider down on the field, a bit slow in getting up. That's Keith Henderson. We're glad to have you with us tonight. The Hurricanes won the opening toss and elected to receive, defending the goal to our left, and they immediately went to work. Their scores tonight, all touchdown passes. First one with 12:48 to go on the opening drive. Took a minute 57. A 20-yard strike from Testaverde to Charles Henry. Extra point good. That made it 7-0. A 5-play 71-yard drive. Red Raiders came back and were actually driving. They had the ball down to about the 30-yard line of Miami. Tolliver threw an interception. It was picked off by Blades of Miami. It took him a minute 56 on that drive as Alonzo Highsmith caught a 51-yard strike from Testaverde. And then with 8:34 to go in the first period, Michael Irvin catches a Vinny Testaverde pass. He has indeed been impressive as Henderson still down on the turf here at the Orange Bowl. You got to look at the Saddle Tramps, the Texas Tech support group. They always make you very welcome when you go to Lubbock. They even roll out the red carpet for the guys on the Southwest Conference press tour every year. Good to see Drew Henderson is up and trotting over to the Tech side of the field. Apparently, maybe just winded, or perhaps he's seeing stars right now.
Well, those types of things happen when you play specialty teams, and Coach McWilliams was very concerned, but Henderson's okay.
Did you ever have to play on the specialty teams with the Cowboys?
Only when I was a rookie.
You caught punts in your rookie year, didn't you?
I returned punts and kickoffs and covered kickoffs.
Drew played in 2 Super Bowls here in this stadium. Caught a touchdown pass in the left side of the left end zone down there one time as the Red Raiders, James Johnson stops a Miami thrust. Testaverde out of the backfield to Darrell Oliver. First action we've seen from Oliver tonight. He's a senior.
Testaverde's getting that good protection. There's a pass rush from the outside, but enough time there to get it off to Oliver. And he takes it up for a gain.
Brad Hastings, good sign there. Hastings all the way across the field to help make the tackle there. He's had the knee problems, but showing no ill effect so far. Lateral movement is good. Red Raiders facing another running situation here by Miami. They don't mind pounding at the tackles, although Testaverde has done a lot of throwing tonight. Warren Williams, their leading rusher last year with over 500 yards. And 10 carries for 52 so far this season. Ricky Boysaw, the converted tight end, brings him down, and that brings up a 32. Clock winding down toward the 3-minute mark here of the first quarter.
Bill, I was wondering why Boysaw, this defensive end, is wearing number 88. But since he's a converted tight end, I understand that.
That's right. I remember number 88. Sure. Okay. There we go with another third down situation. A short one and some movement along the line. But you're allowed to do that if the defense gets back and they allow this play to go. Draw play Warren Williams. Some missed tackles and a first down. There won't be any smiles from the Texas Tech coaching staff on that play because they did, to be quite honest, miss a couple of tackles there that might have prevented the first down by Williams.
Well, Bill, when your passing game is going, usually the draw plays will be very effective, and that one was.
Well, a bunch of first downs so far tonight for the Miami Hurricanes. We'll check first downs for you in a moment. First downs on that drive, their first of this particular drive, and the ball is at the 40-yard line with one running back, Darrell Oliver, behind Vinny Testaverde, and 3 receivers in the formation to the bottom of your screen. This is Oliver. Cuts against the grain, picking up about 4 yards. 10 Miami first downs so far to only 3 for Texas Tech, as Brad Hastings comes in to make the stop. So here's a 2nd and 6 as Miami gets a 4-yard gainer on first down.
Well, this whole first quarter has been all Miami Hurricanes. The Red Raiders need to make a break for themselves. They need to create a turnover, get a quarterback sack, something to get themselves pumped up to try to deal with the second quarter and the rest of this football game.
The play calling by Miami has definitely kept the Red Raiders off balance a bit here in this first period. Play action by Testaverde. Allows the rush to come to it and then dumps it out to Perryman again. Brent Perryman, who caught a 50-yarder last week against Florida that iced that game, comes up with a nice catch there and another first down. That is the 11th for Miami.
There's a play action pass. That'll stop the rush from the Red Raiders, and Testaverde has the time, and he finds that Brett Perryman once again.
That's remarkable. 11 first downs in the first quarter alone so far for the Hurricanes.
Well, they had the ball quite a bit in this first quarter. Time of possession is all theirs.
Moon over the Orange Bowl in Miami, Florida. Good crowd tonight, approaching 50,000. First down, Testaverde. Oliver, not much there. He runs up against a wall of white-shirted Red Raiders, including Ricky Boysaw and Artis Jackson, who former state champion wrestler, who wrestles Darrell Oliver to the ground. Testaverde's now 11 of 12, 204 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Bill,
Second down and a bunch.
Excuse me, Bill. I like this Ricky Boysaw and also this Calvin Riggs. They're 2 defensive ends. They're not real big. Riggs is 6 foot 215. Boysaw 6'2", 225. But they're real effective.
Mitchell, Everett, Skurlar. in the defensive backfield, and Riggs, the guy you're talking about, puts pressure out there, and this one almost intercepted by Leonard Jones. They were looking to the far corner to Perryman, but the guy you just spoke of, Calvin Riggs, did a good job of getting it on Testaverde that time.
Well, Calvin Riggs has been in the Testaverde's face all night. He's getting closer and closer. This time he puts the pressure on the outside. Oliver couldn't pick him up. Testaverde lays it out there, and watch Leonard Jones go up through this one. Go up with 2 hands to bring that ball in.
That's the turnover that the Red Raiders need to get.
That's right. They needed that.
They're within field goal range, and Texas Tech can ill afford to give up any more points with 32 seconds left to go here in the first quarter. They need to stop the Hurricanes here. Miami will take a timeout. Their first of 3 in this first half. Testaverde seeing an opportunity to put some more points on the board, wanting to, confers with Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy Johnson and David McWilliams have a few things in common, both with Southwest Conference backgrounds, both in their early 40s. Johnson's 43, McWilliams is 44. Johnson began his coaching career, head coaching career, at Oklahoma State, but he played at Arkansas. In fact, McWilliams was a player at Texas, a defensive end in 1963, co-captain of a national championship team in 1963. Jimmy Johnson under Frank Broyles in 1964, the very next year, as an offensive lineman, co-captained their national championship team. So that tells you a little bit about the background of these 2 fine coaches, and McWilliams coached Jimmy Johnson's son, Brent, who was a defensive player at the University of Texas. So needless to say, the coaching staffs of these 2 teams know and respect each other quite a bit. Here's a 3rd and 10 with 32 seconds left following the timeout facing Miami. 3 receivers in the formation, including the slot man, Warren Williams, just to the left of the left offensive tackle. A lot of time for Testaverde, and that one is intercepted, I believe. No. Skurlark had it for a moment, then they said no, now they say yes. I thought they had said the ball hit the ground, but Merv Skurlark comes up with a nice play, a diving interception, and that stops the Miami drive. A good job by the Red Raider defense.
Well, this is what a little pressure on the quarterback will do. You rattle him a little bit, and there's that pressure from the inside. Testaverde just lays it out there, and what a nice play by Merv Skurlark to make that interception.
That's the first time the Red Raiders have stopped a Miami drive tonight. Maybe this will be the start of something good. Skurlark, and it's good to see him do something well, because he has had injury problems since his All-Southwest Conference season in 1984. He's now playing, now back at full health, and he does a good job of stopping that drive with the interception. Here's Tolliver, has time, looking to Ferris in the flat, and has him for a gain of about 6. There to make the stop is Rod Carter, number 91, a sophomore, who was the former starting middle linebacker before George Myra came on board. And the first period is winding down. That will be the final play, probably, of the opening period. It will be. So we are approaching the end of quarter number 1 here at the Orange Bowl as the gun sounds. And so Miami with an impressive opening period, but there are 3 more to go. Hurricanes leading the Red Raiders 21-0. Bill Coates along with Drew Pearson at the Orange Bowl in Miami, Florida. Hurricanes were very impressive in that first period, but Texas Tech has a comeback history. Last week they came from behind after trailing at halftime against Kansas State. And last year, with 1 play left in the third quarter, Drew, against New Mexico, they were down 31-10 to come back and win that ball game. So that's a 21-point spread there. Maybe it'll happen again.
Well, there's a lot of time left. Let's see what happens.
Okay, here's the first play of the quarter, and a nice running play by Irvin Ferris. Let us emphasize again that in 2 ball games so far, the Miami defense has given up only 98 total yards rushing. Texas Tech has done better than that so far tonight. Not in total yardage, but they appear to be doing well on the ground, Drew.
Yeah, they're running the ball really well. They're lined up in the split backfield that time and gave it to Ferris on a cross handoff, and he took it off tackle for a big gain.
With all those passes in the first quarter, the opening period took 52 minutes. Passing football games generally take a little bit longer. Here is a 1st down and 10 as Ferris does the nice job, and now Tolliver wants to throw, looking for Irvin Ferris again. He breaks a tackle, and he's close to another 1st down. Irvin Ferris breaks the tackle of Rod Carter at about the 30, and it took Bernard Clark to bring him down.
Well, Tolliver is going to drop back. It's a straight drop back this time. He's looking to the right. He lays it out. Ferris runs an out route. This is what you want your backs to do. Break that first tackle and pick up those extra yards. And great job by Ferris, a sophomore. 5'11", 220 pounds.
From Fort Worth, a former high school teammate of James Gray, Trimble Tech High School. Let's mention Timmy Smith, who really being counted on this year by the Red Raiders, but he broke his ankle earlier this week in practice, and he's not able to play this evening. May not be back for the rest of the year, but let's be more positive than that and hope that by the end of the season, Timmy will be available to play again. This is Isaac Garnett, the sophomore from Midland. A draw play close to the first down. Clark in the middle there again. And this will apparently call for a referee's measurement. They needed to gain just past the 35-yard line. Nope, no measurement. They're going to say Tech first down. Okay, here's a second first down of this drive, fifth first down of the ball game for the Red Raiders. And Drew, they've done it on the ground. A good sign because they're maybe establishing a little bit of momentum along the line of scrimmage.
Well, sometimes it takes a good running game to open up that passing game. When you come out throwing the ball, and I'm sure the Hurricane knew that the Red Raiders were going to throw the football, so they're putting a lot of pressure on Tolliver. Now they're using that running game to open up the passing game.
There's a heck of a lot of difference between Miami and Kansas State. Red Raiders didn't really need their running game that much last week, but they're going to need it tonight because it sets up short passes like this, as you said, Drew, and Irvin Ferris, who's been very busy on this drive, brings it out to the 41-yard line.
Well, they went back to the well, the same play they used just a few plays earlier, and here goes Tolliver on a straight drop back, looking right to the right. Ferris runs the out route on the linebacker, takes it up, gets a nice gain. You know, creates a nice 2nd and 6 situation.
Again, that's exactly what John Mize, the offensive coordinator, told us earlier this week when we spoke with him about tonight's game. He said we need to establish early, get the backs into the passing game, and if we can do that, then it might open up other avenues for us with the Smurfs deeper downfield. I formation, second man through, Ferris again. On 2nd and 6, he'll get 2 or 3 yards, and that'll bring up a third down and about 4. Rod Carter again in on the stop there. Mr. Ferris very busy. That's about, let's see, that's 2 catches and 3 or 4 carries in this drive alone.
Well, it looks like they need somebody to ignite them, and they're going to Irvin Ferris to light the torch for the Red Raiders. He's doing the job so far. They got a nice drive going. Let's just see if they can continue to execute and keep this drive going. Eat up some of the clock, keep the ball away from Miami's offense. 13
minutes to go. I formation now, a shotgun for Billy Joe Tolliver. And the flags fly as somebody broke too early on the 3rd and 5 out of the shotgun. One of the running backs, Ferris, I believe, took a step too soon, and so they'll call illegal motion here. Frank Shepard is the referee tonight, and he's from the Southwest Conference, and he calls illegal procedure. So that'll cost the Red Raiders 5, and that'll hurt them because that'll set up a 3rd and 10.
That looked like a little Canadian football right there with about 5 guys in motion. And
that's right.
They're in a shotgun. There's a lot of noise in the stadium. When you're in a shotgun, it's hard to hear that quarterback's cadence there, and I think that's what confused the Red Raiders.
Yeah, in the Canadian Football League, you're allowed to move toward the line of scrimmage
and
before the
move anybody. As many times as you want.
Just go crazy out there, right? Well, you're not allowed to do that in American football, so the Red Raiders cost themselves 5 there, and they get a 3rd and 10 and a probable passing situation, and you can bet Miami's pass rush will back its ears here. Stubbs, Jerome Brown rushing, but good protection. Great pass and catch from Tolliver to Travis Price. The converting quarterback brought down by Vinny Blades at the 31-yard line.
Oh, nice play by Billy Joe Tolliver. He rolls out to his left. It's really tough when you have to throw and set up, throw across your body on that left-hand throw, and he does a great job, and nice job by Price to hold on to the football after taking a tough lick.
A 33-yard completion. Last year, Price rushed for 219 yards. In fact, he was a wishbone quarterback in high school. His team was 37 and 3 from Wink out there in West Texas, and so they, in fact, some even said that if this were a wishbone team, if Tech was a wishbone team, he might be battling for the starting quarterback job. He is that quick, and he really showed some of it there. 3rd first down of the drive for the Red Raiders. They are deep into Miami territory. Draw play. Look at Irvin Ferris. Nice gain of about 6 more yards. Winston Moss brought him down. End zone look at it, Drew.
Yeah, we got the draw play there. Ferris sets up nice. Gets a nice block on the inside. He just takes it up. They got a nice drive going here. Execution has been the key in this drive. Let's see if they can continue right into the end zone.
Okay, remember, Tech was about at this point in the other end of the field in the first quarter. They threw an interception. Let's not let that happen again. This is an excellent drive with 3 wide receivers in the pattern. Irvin Ferris, a slot back. A lot of blockers in front of Garnett, but not much there for Isaac as Dan Stubbs comes up from his defensive end spot to bring him down. They lost a couple of yards that time, make it 3rd and 4 with 11:14 to play in the period. Monday at 5 o'clock, watch Jed and Granny and the Beverly Hillbillies, followed by Alice and Too Close for Comfort. Then at 6:30, watch All Nell break loose and Give Me a Break, starting Monday on KJTV, Channel 34.
Give me a break with that all Nell.
I didn't write that. 10:51 to play in the second period. Split backs, 3 wide receivers in the pattern, no tight end. Tolliver with good protection. Now they're running for him. He throws it into traffic. But the middle linebacker for Miami not able to hang on. Bernard Clark had it in his hands. Wayne Walker was surrounded by orange shirts down there.
Yeah, that time Tolliver had the time to throw the football. I think he held it just a little too long. It looked like Papa Smurf, Tyron Thurman, was open there for a second. By the time Tolliver saw him and threw the football, the Miami defense converged on Papa Smurf.
So they miss it on 3rd and 4, and here is a 43-yard field goal attempt from Scott Segrist, who was 4 for 4 last week, but none of them, his longest last week, a 28-yarder. So this is a bit longer, but he kicked a 62-yarder during the spring, and this one's up, and it's good. It loops in. Scott Segrist now 5 for 5, and the Red Raiders are on the board, trailing 21-3. Drew, it was an impressive drive, but you really need to make that 3rd and 4 if you're going to pull off an upset.
Well, it's a situation, you're 21 points down. Coach McWilliams had an option to either try to get to 4 yards in two plays, a 3rd down, and then go for it on 4th down, or try for a pass on 3rd down. And if you don't make it, kick the field goal. But I think it was a great drive, 9 plays, 71 yards, and it's very time-consuming, and that's what the Red Raiders have to do. They have to keep Miami's offense and Testaverde off the field, and that's the way to do it. Eat up that clock.
Well, it's a start, and how about that Scott Segrist? A nice kickoff after a 43-yard field goal. Here is J.C. Penney. I love that name. Out to the 26-yard line.
I wonder who he was named after.
I was going to say, I'm wondering if maybe his mom shopped at that particular department store while she was waiting on him. Anyway, Miami with their own field position at the 26-yard line. Now Watson there to bring him down, and Testaverde will set up shop with his high-powered offense that has already produced well over 200 yards of total offense and 11 first downs in the first quarter and 5 minutes. I formation. The center is Greg Rakazi, and the running back is Warren Williams. Quick look at the Miami offense for you. Across the line, and they average about 260. John O'Neill, Dave Alekna, Greg Rakazi, who's matched up against Hastings. He's a senior from Medford Lakes, New Jersey, and a good one. Paul O'Connor and Roderick Holder, the tight end Charles Henry. Brett Perryman is the wide receiver. Michael Irvin, number 47, and the bottom of your screen a moment ago was number 9, Brian Blades. And here on 2nd and 10, out of the backfield, this is Oliver, and he drops that ball. Heard footsteps probably from Michael Johnson, who had a big game last week against Kansas State with 11 tackles. And that brings up a 3rd and long, and if the Red Raiders can hold, they've got good field position again and a chance to do something, maybe get another score.
Well, this is what they want to do. They want to slow down this Miami Hurricane offense, and we're getting some help by the Hurricane. Maybe they're getting a little too overconfident now, and Now the time for the Red Raiders to take advantage of that, Bill.
That's right. There's still a lot of time left in this football game. Testaverde off to a hot start with his teammates. He was 11 of 15. But now a big play. Good pass rush. Testaverde has his man Irvin. Oh, my goodness. A tough pass and catch. Irvin right in the middle of the Tech zone defense. And that's what they didn't want to happen. An 18-yard gain, so the Red Raiders have them pinned back, and Testaverde showing why he is a Heisman candidate, and Irvin showing why he's so good as a wide receiver.
Well, they had good pressure on Testaverde that time, but they gave Irvin the time to run the route. He came from left to right on a crossing route, and again, he's one of the top receivers in the country.
The defensive backs, Eric Everett, Leonard Jones. Number 25 is Roland Mitchell. Merv Scarlock in the game, and Warren Williams with a carry on first down at right tackle. About 3 yards, Brad Hastings, who had 312 tackles coming in to this season. That is the most of any college football player in the country, the most tackles of any returning college football player, and he seems to have his best games against the good teams. He had 29 tackles. That's incredible. 29 tackles last year against Texas A&M and 25 against SMU.
That is incredible.
I mean, that's a busy night. He's already busy again this evening. 2nd and 8. Miami nearing midfield, and the Red Raiders needing to come up with a big play here and stop this drive. This is student body left with a sweep play that'll get them 3, maybe 4 yards. Red Raiders fight off the blocks nicely. Artis Jackson in there along with Leonard Jones, a 2-year starter. And here's a 3rd down and 3, and another chance for the Red Raiders to stop this Miami offense.
Well, maybe the Red Raiders need to change up their defensive philosophy a little bit. Maybe throw a blitz in there, something to offset the Hurricane attack here.
Eddie Kittle, number 93, is into the ball game. At the bottom of your screen is a defensive end. He had a good pass rush early in the ball game on Testaverde. 97 is Danny Schwertner. Artis Jackson, and coming from the far outside. The pass rush not there is the completion for another first down goes to Miami's Alfredo Roberts. The backup tight end, and Eric Everett was there to bring him down, but penalty flags back upfield. Let's keep our fingers crossed for holding. That's indeed what it is.
Bring it back.
So here comes a 3rd and 13, and instead of a first down for Miami, the Red Raiders are now in a position to force Testaverde to throw, back their ears and get a good pass rush and stop this drive.
Well, now's the time when you really want to come with a blitz, whether it's your inside linebackers, your outside linebackers, or maybe even their strong safety or the rover coming in and putting that pressure on Testaverde. Give him something he hasn't seen so far. Make him think a little.
The holding penalty takes it all the way back to the 42. The Hurricanes need to gain the Tech 44.
It'll be 3rd and 14.
3rd and 14, 7:45 left to go here in the second period. Testaverde with 2 slot men to the top of your screen. Looking long, going for Blades. Has Blades at the 25-yard line. Oh my goodness, another outstanding, and that's all you can call it, but another flag up the field. Keith Henderson on the coverage. He was there, but that was a picture-perfect pass to Blades, but the flag was in the Miami backfield, and I'll bet they have another holding. It's illegal procedure. So cost him another 5 yards. Too many men on the line of scrimmage. And the Red Raiders dodge a bullet there.
Illegal procedure cost the Hurricanes 5.
And now it'll be 3rd down and 19.
3rd and 19.
Turnover time, Bill. What do you think?
I think that's about time. I mean, Hurricanes keep completing passes to their guys. Maybe they can throw one to one of the Red Raiders right now.
Let's bring one in, Red Raiders.
Where's Boyd Cowan when you need him? He had the 83-yard return last week, and he had to have a picture with Drew Pearson this morning at the hotel. You may be his good luck charm. Irvin, another completion. Boyd Cowan was there, but that was a picture-perfect completion 3 times in this drive. Testaverde facing third and long, a 34-yard completion here. 3 times, Drew, facing third and long. He has hit his receiver on the dead run.
He laid that one in there. Michael Irvin showing why he is one of the top in the nation, top receivers, and he caught a nice pass. They spread everybody out wide, let Michael Irvin work it to the inside. He now has 3 catches for 86 yards and 1 touchdown in this game.
I don't know anything to say other than just tip your hat to Testaverde. He's got a fine arm, and the thing about it, it's so accurate.
He laid that one right in there.
I think I could have caught that ball. Warren Williams on first down gets it inside the 30. James Johnson there to bring him down. Well, Tech's character will really be tested here in that that can be demoralizing when you do such a good job of stopping a team until third down rolls around, and then they beat you on a 33-yard pass play. Top of your screen, wide receiver Perryman. Bottom is Michael Irvin, the dangerous one. 2 running backs, Highsmith and Warren Williams. They fake to Williams. Testaverde a naked bootleg. He runs for the first down and is driven out of bounds after a 15, maybe a 16-yard gain down to the 12-yard line. Testaverde, who is a good runner. Eddie Kittle drove him out of bounds, but fooling everybody. This is the old naked bootleg, isn't it?
Well, Testaverde showing his versatility there. Look at that nice move there, and everybody thinks the quarterback, when he gets to that sideline, he's going to take it out of bounds, but Testaverde stepped inside. He fooled Roland Mitchell on the play and picked up a few extra yards.
He's been timed in the 40-yard dash at 4.8. The fastest wide receivers go 4.3. So that is moving for a quarterback, and he's a big kid, about 6'3". First and 10 at the 12. Warren Williams, not much available for Warren Williams down there. Artis Jackson at 290 pounds says hello, and then rudely throws Warren Williams to the ground. So it's second down and 10 to go for Miami with 6:09 to play in the second period.
Big Artis Jackson's playing a nice game on the inside. Miami's having success everywhere else but running that ball on the inside, and that's because of big number 69, Artis Jackson, goes 6'5", 290 pounds.
And weighed 350 when he came to Texas Tech, but a weight program actually slimmed him down to his 290 playing weight. So David McWilliams wants no refrigerator Perrys on his team. He wants quick defensive lineman. Jackson, a good pass rush again, but Irvin was there and just dropped the ball. He was surrounded by white-shirted Red Raiders. Leonard Jones, the closest man, and Testaverde a little frustrated at Irvin that time because he had him.
Well, Michael Irvin showed that time that he is human. Testaverde laid that right in there in the end zone. It would have been 6 points, but Michael Irvin didn't hold on to it.
I was starting to wonder if Testaverde and Irvin were human there for a moment.
The way they've been clicking, it sure seems like a fantasy.
Yeah, I'll tell you, that has been a dynamic combo so far tonight. Good crowd here at the Orange Bowl. They've a bit late arriving, but I would say 50,000, approaching that in this 75,000 seat stadium. Here's a third down and 10. Third and 10. Red Raiders looking to hold. Testaverde under a heavy rush. He'll be flushed out of the pocket. One man to beat, and he gets around one of the Red Raiders and goes for the flag. Is going to be driven out a bit short of the end zone. Now they say touchdown. I thought maybe they had gotten him out at the 1-yard line. Leonard Jones had a beat on Testaverde, but Vinny stepped around him and got into the corner of the end zone. Remarkable run.
Well, Testaverde's getting pressured there, and again, his versatility as a runner really makes him much more effective as a quarterback. Watch that move there. Shakes off the tackle by Leonard Jones and dives in the end zone and just makes it into the corner of the end zone.
He was the 5th player in the Heisman balloting last year. It makes you wonder, makes you appreciate just how good the first 4 guys were.
Well, Artis Jackson almost had him there, and look at that move on Leonard Jones, and he just gives a leg and takes it away and just sneaks into the end zone.
No question, he did get to the end zone too. He got to the flag, and that's all you have to do. Seelig adds the extra point. 5:28 to go. 28-3. Hurricanes leading the Red Raiders. Well, they like to negotiate long scoring drives, Drew. A 12-play, 73-yard excursion, 4:59 on the clock, and how about that Testaverde touchdown run?
That's a great run, but that is what you call a sustained drive. 12 plays, almost 5 minutes. That really is what you call a sustained drive.
And 13 of 18 passing for Testaverde, 267 yards, 3 touchdowns. Would have had 4, but Irvin dropped one in the end zone a moment ago. 1 interception, 3 carries, 41 yards rushing for him. Here's Wayne Walker at the 5 against a outstanding coverage unit by Miami. Not much available for him. And number 90, Victor Morris, the lead man for Miami on the coverage team that time. So Tolliver and company open up in a hole with 5:22 to go in the second period. Well, the Red Raiders run a first down play. Tim Tannehill, the intended receiver out of the backfield, not able to get the pass, but a flag down. Red Raiders deep in their own territory at the 12 and a yellow flag, laying it dead in the middle of your picture. Well, the penalty against Texas Tech declined by Miami. They will take the incomplete pass and set up a second down and 10 at the 12-yard line. Wayne Walker, top of your screen, number 80. Eddie Anderson, bottom of your screen. The flex end is Travis Price, who had a 30-yard catch earlier in the quarter. I formation behind Tolliver. Ferris, the second man through. Winston Moss, number 99, there to meet him. Moss is an interesting story. He is an All-American candidate who has been a starter off and on this team, was a starter part of his freshman year when the Hurricanes won the national championship in 1983. Remember that big win over Nebraska here in the Orange Bowl game? Moss and several of his teammates, including Rakazi and others, played a great deal on that team. Moss had to miss the first game this year because there was some question about his eligibility. He had taken a car from a licensed sports agent. Well, they ruled that after much haggling that he could return, and he is out there right now as the Red Raiders get a nice completion out of the backfield to Isaac Garnett. Good play out to the 29-yard line. Don Ellis brings him down, and that will move the sticks. And the Red Raiders, after the 12-yard gain, Drew, are moving the football if they can just put some points on the board.
Yeah, they're moving it, but they got to put it all together, getting a play here and a play there. But let's put it all together and see if they can get a nice sustained drive going here and get on the scoreboard with a touchdown before the end of the half.
Doing what the game plan called for, and that is to throw the short passes to the running backs. Now it's just a matter of continuing to eat up those yard markers. Tolliver, good protection again, into traffic, and a bit high for the intended receiver, Ferris. Irvin Ferris, the running back, and they just continue to use those backs. I like that game plan if they can make it work, and they have been able to move the football some tonight so far.
Well, what Texas Tech is going to have to start doing is throwing downfield a little more to their outside receivers, because Miami's in a 3-man pass rush and dropping the first wave of linebackers to cover the short zone and covering it up with a 3-deep secondary. So Texas Tech is going to have to throw downfield a little more and try to hit those outside receivers. They haven't thrown to the outside receivers that much in this game.
Billy Joe Tolliver, 7 of 19, 1 interception so far tonight. He was off to a slow start last week, and he tries the draw play this time to his running back, Clifton Winston, who gained over 3,000 yards as a high school player in Houston, and replaces James McGowan, last year's starter. Winston is the new starting fullback for the Red Raiders. Not a big guy, 5'8", 185. 3rd and 6 here as Perkins checks out of the game.
32-yard line.
Red Raiders are well represented here tonight, as you can see.
I like those 6 shooters he has on his hips there.
He got to fire those a lot last week after touchdowns, Drew. Hopefully he'll be able to do that tonight. 3rd and 6. Maybe you should aim those 6 shooters at Testaverde. Here's Tolliver looking long, going for Price, and he is blistered at the 40, and they will call a penalty against the Hurricanes. Benny Blades, a needless shot at Travis Price. That ball way overthrown, and they do call the penalty against Blades, and I have to say that I agree with it because that ball was about 10 feet over the head of Travis Price, who doesn't know where he is right now.
Well, he thinks he's at home in his living room watching this game on TV right now.
Probably wishes he were home watching it right now.
But I know that feeling. That's why no receivers like to catch the ball on the inside, but this time they come in inside. Tolliver lays it up, and of course the receiver has to make the effort to go for the ball, and that definitely is a late hit.
How do you get up from something like that? You took a few shots in your day. How do you get up and come back in?
Well, you need a scraper to scrape you off the turf. That's the best one.
Do you remember your hardest hit ever?
Yeah, playing against Kenny Houston with the Washington Redskins. He's a Hall of Famer now, and he hit me in a similar situation just like that.
And you got up and played. Obviously, you made it. You lived. You're here tonight, right?
Well, after I found out where I was and what I was supposed to be doing, got my senses back, then got back out there.
Personal foul against the Hurricanes. They don't mark it as a spot of the foul call. The pass interference, which was in effect what they called there, wasn't it? The pass, no, a personal foul is what they call because it was an uncatchable pass. It's a 15-yard walk-off, gives the ball to the Red Raiders at their 47-yard line. A three-man Miami rush, and Tolliver looking into the flat. There's Ferris again, not able to hang on to the ball. Had it for a moment, but not able to control it, and it's a good thing because it would have been a fumble had he been ruled to have possession. Penalties, Texas Tech has not been penalized yet. Miami, 6 of them so far for 50 yards. But with a 28-3 lead so far, they've been able to afford that with 3:16 to go.
Well, let's see what the Red Raiders are going to do with a 2nd and 10 situation. I'm sure they're going to throw the football, but I'd like to see them go to those outside receivers, the Smurfs. Let's get those guys in the action.
Well, 2 of them are in the game right now, Walker and Eddie Anderson. Thurman not in at the moment. Split backs. Garnett on 2nd down. Not much available to the outside as he's collared by Randy Shannon, a sophomore who started the opening game against South Carolina while Moss was still suspended. And he did a nice job of dragging down Garnett, who is a load at 225 pounds, 3rd and 8.
Well, they elected to run in that situation on 2nd and 10, only picked up 2 yards, and now they have a definite passing situation. And let's see what Miami does with their defense. See if they try to blitz or stay with that 3-man pass rush front.
It looks like they have the 3-man pass rush. No blitz shown at the moment here. I'm sure they expect. Oh, here comes Winston Moss. Giving chase. Out of the flat, though. On the screen is Garnett. Great call. Flag down. 1st down, Red Raiders, unless the penalty is against Texas Tech. A 15-yard gain. You think often about a clip in an open field situation like that, and that's what it's going to be. Ouch.
All right, that hurts. That hurts. Well executed play. Trying to come back and help out the runner on the play, and he just got caught clipping.
Well, Miami had 2 of those, or 2 penalties that hurt them on 3rd down a moment ago in their last scoring drive, but they were able to recover and continue to drive, and now Texas Tech will have to do the same thing. Look at the clip.
Yeah, I think that was big number 75, David Stickles, on the play. And, there was definitely a clip. Just got a little over anxious. Got to try to hold up sometime in that situation. Let the back make his move, and then sometimes that'll put you in a better position to make that type of block.
Well, it's a 5-yard penalty against the Red Raiders. Makes it a 3rd and 8. Bruce Perkins, Eddie Anderson, Tannehill among the receivers. Tolliver gets a block from Garnett. A lot of time, wants it all. Looking downfield for Gray. Good coverage, though. 2 Miami Hurricanes around him, including Don Ellis. That could have easily been a pass interference against Miami.
Only thing on that, Bill, you might have had a face guarding situation, but the ball was laid up there by Tolliver, and Miami defensive players went for the ball, and they have every right in that type of situation to go for the ball as the receiver does.
They called pass interference against Texas Tech, like you said, Drew, face guarding, because when the ball was up in the air, Gray just stuck his hands up, and the defensive guy has as much right to it as the offensive player.
Right. Well, Gray turned into a defensive back on that play to try to avoid the interception, and he takes a penalty on it, but probably a good play. Here it is on the replay. He's using it. He's holding them down with one hand and trying to make the catch with the other hand, and that's definitely interference, offensive pass interference.
Well, this Texas Tech drive is going the wrong way right now, and Jamie Simmons will have to punt from his own 16-yard line. 2 of them for tonight for a 36-yard average. Perryman, the deep receiver, standing at his own 30. 2 minutes to play in the first half, and the ball is blocked. Winston Moss going after it. The ball was blocked by Darren Hardy. Make that Bubba McDowell, who came through and blocked the Simmons punt. I mean, he got all of that. Coming from the left side, Bubba McDowell, uncontested, as he comes through to block the punt of Jamie Simmons, and here come the Hurricanes again.
Well, they got close the first time. Simmons had the punt. This time they get in there. Bubba McDowell came in virtually untouched. Breakdown in the blocking of the punt protection team.
Well, how about the 14-yard line? This will be a much shorter drive if Miami converts. Testaverde with 3 touchdown passes already. Going for 4. Heavy rush to Kintai, but not quite there. Good coverage on the play by Eric Everett.
Nice coverage by Eric Everett on the play. Testaverde kind of just hung that one up there a little bit. I'm sure that receiver, David Kintai, I guess that's Kintai had to pronounce it. He laid it out there kind of, and Eric Everett just came over top to knock it away. Nice play by Eric Everett.
Eric Everett with pass rush coming from Eddie Kittle on the outside. Looks like Kittle's still in there along with Artis Jackson and others. Hastings, the middle linebacker, will get some action here as Melvin Bratton off a draw play. Bratton, playing on an injured ankle, gets the ball inside the 10 to the 7. Hastings collars him by the foot and brings him down at the 8-yard line, it appears. So 3rd down and 4. And guess what? Red Raiders need to stop this drive, trailing 28-3. Irvin to the top of your screen. The split backs are Bratton and Highsmith. Bratton already has 5 touchdown runs this year. That leads the nation. Perryman, the wide receiver, at the bottom of your screen, but Testaverde's greedy. He wants to throw it. Intercepted by Leonard Jones, though, at the 4-yard line. Ball was behind the intended receiver, and Leonard Jones picks it off and brings it back out to the 14, make that the 16-yard line.
Well, Bill, that pass was intended for Michael Irvin. He ran a nice corner route. Testaverde's looking at him all the way, and that's what Leonard Jones is reading. He's reading that quarterback. When he lays it up, he just brings it in. Nice interception.
4th career interception for Leonard Jones. A 2-year starter who picked one off last year against Rice and returned it 50 yards for a touchdown.
We've got 1 minute and 7 left in the half. Let's see what the Red Raiders do to try to get back in this game, see if they throw the ball in this situation deep in Miami's territory.
I'll bet they do. Oliver looking to throw. Has time. Tannehill out of the backfield out to the 30. A 1st down. Gain of about 14. He did not get out of bounds. Red Raiders have 2 of their 3 timeouts left. And they will stop the clock long enough to move the sticks. A long way to go for the Red Raiders, but they started off with a 14-yard completion to Tim Tannehill.
Got to get those Red Raiders on the line of scrimmage. Should have the play called. Should have been ready to go. Losing valuable time on that clock. 51 and counting.
Yeah, and counting. Down to 48. Tolliver under a heavy rush, and he'll be thrown down. Dan Stubbs.
Timeout. Call a timeout. Unless they want to run the clock out.
Now they're going to call timeout. With 39 seconds left, the Red Raiders call timeout, trailing 28-3. Clock winding down toward halftime. .39 seconds left to play here in the 2nd quarter. Bill Coates along with Drew Pearson at the Orange Bowl in Miami, Florida. 2nd-ranked Hurricanes, 12 straight regular season wins, leading the Red Raiders 28-3, but the Red Raiders have the ball at their own 24-yard line. 2nd down and 18. Not much time available. They complete the ball to Garnett, who is hammered. Will they call it an incomplete or a fumble? They say incomplete pass. Randy Shannon tattooed Isaac Garnett at about the time the ball arrived. And that will set up a 3rd and long. third down conversions. Red Raiders not doing so well right now. 1 of 7 in the first half. And third and 18 with 31 seconds to go. Texas Tech with one more timeout. They won't have to worry about it unless they complete the pass here. Tolliver, straight drop back, goes to Tannehill, but Shannon collars him again. Gets nothing. And another punting situation with 21 seconds left to go, and Miami may still have a little bit of time to do something here. They will call timeout, as a matter of fact. Miami calls timeout. They want to conserve some time. 18 seconds to go. They lead by 25 points. Third and a bunch. Make that fourth down in a bunch for the Red Raiders.
Number 33.
At their own 26-yard line, and so Jamie Simmons, who had one blocked last time he tried by Bubba McDowell, and we'll be watching number 48. You can bet the Red Raiders will be watching him as the Miami team jumps off sides. Winston Moss trying to break through. Miami not content to sit on this lead. They want to tack something on here with 18 seconds to go, so that'll give Texas Tech 5 yards to work with here and delay halftime a moment. We'll be talking at halftime with guests that include Dr. Lauro Cavazos, the president of Texas Tech, and Bob Swayze, chairman of the Texas Tech Athletic Council, Tim Chambers of the Red Raider Club, the Lubbock Red Raider Club, a fundraising organization for the athletic department. Drew and I will talk about what we've seen in the first 30 minutes of play, and we'll stick around. Simmons standing at his own 16-yard line. Here comes McDowell again. They pick him up this time, and Simmons gets the punt off to Perryman, who will call a fair catch at the 35 with 11 seconds to go. I'll tell you something, the way they have moved the ball tonight, 11 seconds is not out of the question. They've got a good field goal kicker, and Texas Tech is going to have to be a little wary here and not let anything cheap get away from them with 10 seconds to go.
That's right, Bill. They have one timeout left. And when we see Testaverde come on the field and number 47, Michael Irvin, they need that big 20-yard gainer, and that might put them in good field position.
Yeah, they want to avoid that 34-yard kick. Let's see. Blades, Irving, Perryman, the 3 wide receivers are in the formation. I'll bet you Vinny Testaverde throws it. He is. Good pass rush. Testaverde in some trouble, but gets it to Irving. He gets it to the 50. Will try to get out of bounds at the 45 with 2 seconds to go. That is not in field goal range for Selig. A 17-yard gain. You're watching the Hurricanes and the Texas Tech Red Raiders on KJTV Channel 34, Lubbock, Texas. Drew Pearson and Bill Coates, glad to have you with us here at the Orange Bowl. There is a Red Raider down at the 40-yard line. With 2 seconds to go, that appears to be Leonard Jones, who had a pass interception a moment ago. Irvin able to get out of bounds and give Testaverde one more chance to throw up a, dare I use the word, Hail Mary to Drew Pearson. With 2 seconds to go before halftime here at the Orange Bowl. Irvin, 4 catches, 104 yards, and a touchdown so far tonight. 3 touchdown passes from Vinny Testaverde as you look at a concerned David McWilliams, who was very honest about this game coming in tonight. He and his coaching staff were as well. An opportunity for the Red Raiders to learn from an excellent football team, a team that's already where the Red Raiders want to be a couple of years down the road. As Leonard Jones walks off under his own power, and that's certainly good to see. Leonard is a senior from Fort Worth. They're going to try the field goal, a 64-yarder. Here is Mark Selig, who has never kicked one this long that I could find in my pregame preparation.
Where's the wind blowing?
It'll be well short of the mark, Drew. Wind was at his back, though.
63-yard field goal is short as the half end.
And the half has come to an end with his missed 64-yard field goal. So after 30 minutes of play, Drew Pearson and I have witnessed an impressive show from the Miami Hurricanes. They lead 28-3. Well, it's a beautiful night for football here at the Orange Bowl, getting ready for the third period. It's been all Miami so far. They lead the Red Raiders 28-3. Bill Coates, along with Drew Pearson, and let's take a look at what went on in that first half. A lot of it happened very early, Drew, and Mr. Testaverde was on target from the very beginning.
Right, here's his first touchdown pass to Charles Henry. It's just an inside post route. Nice route by Henry, and Testaverde just laid it in there. And there's Alonzo Highsmith, and watch this straight arm there, and he'll take it down the sideline. The big guy has some speed, makes it into the end zone, and that made it 14-0.
He's a fullback.
Miami, he's a fullback, right. And Testaverde, once again, gets that time to throw, and there's the interception for the Texas Tech Red Raiders.
Merv Skurlock.
Right.
Skurlark with the interception. Another look at that.
Well, that's a touchdown to Michael Irvin. And Testaverde again, well, these receivers have nothing to do but catch the football when he lays it in there like that.
No excuses when they're right there, huh?
And Testaverde shows why he's a versatile quarterback. He bench presses 325 pounds, and that time he bench pressed a Red Raider and got in the end zone.
Look at him juke the tackler there. That's the impressive thing. That's a move of a halfback, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a great move. That's a nice move, and it showed a lot of power on that play and ran right through Leonard Jones.
And this really hurt the Red Raiders late in the second quarter.
Well, McDowell comes in untouched, and he just blocks the punt from Simmons. And those are the highlights for the Miami Hurricanes and kind of lowlights for the Red Raiders.
Yeah, I was going to say, unfortunately, there are not many highlights to show from the Red Raider point of view. They had a 43-yard field goal from Scott Segrist, a good-looking drive that really Texas Tech, quite honestly, needed much more out of than a field goal. They've been into Miami territory 3 times in the first half. Just haven't been able to punch it in. Here's Keith Henderson, who once led the nation in kickoff returns. Has an opening, but only gets to the 20. Briefly, he had an opening and a flag flies after the tackle. Now it'll be interesting to see what they come up with here.
Well, Miami has an excellent kickoff coverage team, and what the Red Raiders need to do is try to take that kickoff straight up the field and quit trying to, get to the outside with that kickoff coverage.
Wow, flipping against the Red Raiders, and that'll set them back a little bit further. Testaverde passing in the first half was 14 of 21, 283 yards, 3 touchdowns. Billy Joe Tolliver, 10 of 24, 102 yards, no touchdowns. He was sacked once. Price and Tannehill, 2 catches each. Irvin had 4 catches, 104 yards for Miami. Highsmith, 4 catches, 103 yards for Miami. They had well over 300 yards of total offense, about 350 to 126 total yards for the Red Raiders. Those stats, sometimes the stats don't tell the story. There they do. Tolliver from his own 2-yard line, almost intercepted. That is the backup middle linebacker starting tonight, played the entire way. Bernard Clark, Travis Price, the intended receiver. Red Raiders lucky there. They have a great defense. They just don't get enough credit, but Miami does play outstanding defense.
That time Tolliver threw the ball in the crowd. He should have never thrown that pass in that situation. Should have just waited and maybe waited till the receiver came open later. He had time to do that, but they were lucky they didn't get intercepted on that play.
The quarterback is Tolliver. Isaac Garnett, the fullback. In motion is Irvin Ferris. Draw play Garnett. Tries to circle out of the backfield, but Bill Hawkins is there to drag him down for about a 2-yard loss. Bill Hawkins, who is a starter on the defensive line, a sophomore from Hollywood, Florida, there to bring down Garnett, setting up a 3rd down and 13. The wide receivers, Eddie Anderson in the game, along with Travis Price. Tim Tannehill normally starts at the flex end. Wayne Walker, number 80, to open the second half. Along the line, David Stickles, Jeff Keith, Mike McBride, Chris Tanner, and Aubrey Richburg, the starting offensive line for the Red Raiders. Tanner's a good one, has his hands full against Jerome Brown. They run right over Tanner that time, get some of the yardage back, but not much. A conservative call by the Red Raider coaching staff there because they were pinned so deep in their own territory. Ferris not getting much, and here's a punting situation for the Red Raiders.
Well, Miami's defense is starting to show their stuff. They were really tough in the first 2 games for the Hurricane against South Carolina and Florida. And they're going to make it tough for the Red Raiders the rest of this game, I'm sure.
Those 6 sacks against Kerwin Bell are very impressive because he runs well, the Florida quarterback, but they nailed him last week. And Simmons, the punt off the side of his foot, downed at the 36 by Johnson. And Testaverde has a lot of field position to work with here. Just underway in the second half. 28-3 Miami leading the Red Raiders.
Vanderbilt 10, that is the third
Bill Coates
period.
along with Drew Pearson reminding you that you can see this game replayed in full tomorrow night here on KJTV Channel 34 starting at 7 o'clock. We had to preempt the first 35 minutes of tonight's game because of contractual obligations with the College Football Association, but we'll replay it in its entirety beginning at 7 tomorrow evening. Testaverde still the quarterback. Under pressure by Boysaw, tries the screen, and Oliver not able to hang on to it. Johnson there close. He allowed the Red Raider rush to get close, but Boysaw got a little too close. He ran him back about 25 yards there.
That time we wish Oliver would have caught that one because they would have had him for a loss.
Yeah, that's right. He would have had about a 5-yard loss on that play. That's not the way the screen pass is designed. Good work by the Red Raider defense there. Second and 10, 13:23 to go here in the third quarter. My formation behind Testaverde. 3 touchdown passes. He's scored 1 so far. Showing blitz, the Red Raiders don't. Bratton off the right tackle gets good yardage. Ball on the natural surface, but Bratton was down before the fumble. Texas Tech has not played on natural grass since 1983, I believe. The first game, 84. Of course, all the teams in the Southwest Conference have artificial surfaces. It has been that long since the Red Raiders have played on natural grass.
It'll be their only game on natural grass this year, and I'm sure they're glad about that.
Yeah, get out of this stuff. Although most football players seem to like it. The Jones Stadium has the artificial surface, of course, as well as everybody else in the league. Another screen pass. And Testaverde again had number 88, Ricky Boysoff, all over him back there. And he tried to hit Oliver again and again missed him. Here's 4th down and 6. And for only, and correct me if I'm wrong, for only the 3rd time tonight, the Red Raiders are having to have held defensively. And this will be the first punt of the evening by Jeff Feagles. If he punts, this will be a field goal. Okay. All I was hoping that maybe we'd get to see the punter. This is a 48-yard field goal. They're not going to try for the coffin corner. They'll use Seelig on the long field goal attempt, and that one's up, and it looks pretty good. It is. Everything working tonight for the Red Raiders. For the check net for the Hurricanes, they now lead 31-3. Miami leading the Red Raiders following a 48-yard field goal by Martin Seelig. Again, not much has failed tonight for the second-ranked Hurricanes.
Again, the kicker.
Hello, Lubbock. KJTV Channel 34. And there are Miami Texas Tech fans in the stands and some mighty pretty Miami cheerleaders. In fact, we have been admiring them all night long, Drew.
You have, Bill.
Oh, okay. Just me. Okay, here we go with Seelig's kickoff, and this is Wayne Walker 2 yards deep. And he'll go to 1D, and the Red Raiders will have 80 yards to drive here, looking for their first touchdown of the night. Pretty good kick by Seelig, considering he did that from his own 35-yard line. The rule change this year in college football says you do like the NFL. You kick it from your own 35. They're trying to bring the return back into college football. Remember, 2 years ago, they had a rule that said if you kicked it out of the end zone on the fly, the ball came to the 30. They didn't like that, so they're trying this now. And that should work to Tech's advantage this year, as we said a little earlier, because of their fine return people. Here's Monty McGuire, new quarterback in the ball game. Monty McGuire, the senior, great arm. He'll go to work immediately, almost picked off by Ellis, looking for Bruce Perkins. Don Ellis, a sophomore from Fort Myers, defending on Bruce Perkins, a junior from Lubbock Coronado. Monty McGuire, a senior from Monahans. pure drop back passer who really made an impression, Drew, in the spring.
Quarterback for the Red Raiders.
Well, he was 5 for 14 against Kansas State last week for 79 yards, and they're just trying to get something going. It's just kind of like a relief pitcher coming in to spell Tolliver here.
Yeah, no reason to let Billy Joe get too down on himself tonight. This is a very good football team, so let somebody else have a chance. And here's Hawkins, who is playing, believe it or not, for the second week in a row. Last week in particular against Florida, he was suffering dehydration as a result of flu he'd been battling all week, and he still hasn't gotten over it, they tell us, but he looks pretty good to me. And that's the second sack of the night. They sacked Tolliver once in the first half, and they get to Monty McGuire here. 3rd and 17.
3rd and 16 at the 14-yard line.
Under 12 and counting.
Red Raiders need a big play, Bill.
And
get
Tyrone
going.
Thurman. Yeah, and our buddy Tyrone Thurman hasn't gotten his hands on the ball tonight.
Let's get it to the Papa Smurf.
All right, let's see. He's looking that way, looks him off, though, and now wants to throw to the other side of the field. He's nailed again. This time it's Derwin Jones. Hawkins also in there on 3rd and long. Not even close. And here's another punting situation. And Jamie Simmons starting to get a workout.
Well, that time the Hurricane defense rolled up on the wide receivers on the outside, and when they slow those guys up, McGuire doesn't get the time to throw in that pocket because they're of the Hurricane pass rush.
They blocked the punt earlier, not here. Ball will bounce at the 50 and will get a decent roll for Simmons, and Perryman hit immediately by Eric Everett. And they get to the 49-yard line before the Red Raiders drive him out of bounds. 11:28 here to go in the 3rd quarter. 31-3. It was 28 at halftime, but a field goal a moment ago by Seelig has made it 31-3 in favor of the Hurricanes, who 2 weeks from today host #1 Oklahoma here. There was some concern, at least among the press here locally. They were asking Jimmy Johnson that question earlier this week. Would the Hurricanes overlook Texas Tech with Oklahoma coming up? He said maybe until we looked at the Texas Tech films. They were very impressed with the Red Raiders, and obviously Miami has not overlooked Texas Tech tonight. They have played very well. They respected the Red Raiders coming in as Melvin Bratton make that Alonzo Highsmith off left tackle, taken down by Leonard Jones. 2nd and 7 as he gains 3. So they really haven't overlooked the Red Raiders at all. It's not a matter of Tech playing that badly. I think Miami has just played a great game so far tonight.
Well, they're fired up coming home. The first 2 games of the '86 season have been on the road, and this is their first opportunity to play in front of their home fans, being the #2 team in the nation. You know, they're showing why they are just that.
2nd and 7. Here's Testaverde again on the rollout. He's very good at that. Has his man Henry, who stays on his feet somehow. He was drilled at the 28-yard line by Eric Everett. I mean, hit hard, about hip high. 33-yard gain. Henry caught a touchdown pass a bit earlier in the game, and oh, he looked very impressive that time.
Oh, it's a great catch. Great throw by Testaverde, going to his left, throwing back across his body, and look at his catch. He gets smacked there. He stays on his feet. That's the incredible part of the play. He got hit and he stayed on his feet and still held on to the football and picked up some big extra yards.
10:36 to go in the 3rd, and here come the Hurricanes knocking at the door again at the 19-yard line. Split backs. Here's Bratton. He has 5, looking for 6 touchdowns, but not much available for him that time as he's driven out of bounds over there by Gary Warren. The linebackers for the Red Raiders include Gary Warren, Michael Johnson, Brad Hastings in the middle, Eric Everett shaken up on the near side of the field. Eric Everett is down.
Melvin Bratton came around that corner and just laid a forearm on Eric Everett. Everett probably rung his bell a little bit on that play.
Yeah, he's having some problems right now. Everett, a very good player. His older brother Thomas was an All-American at Baylor. Miami leading Texas Tech by 4 touchdowns in the 3rd quarter. We've been given some scores from around the Southwest Conference. We'll pass those along to you a bit later on in just a moment. It's 2nd down and 9. Hurricanes knocking at the door. Swing pass to Highsmith. He already has one touchdown. Give him another one, although there's a flag down. Highsmith from 19 yards out. I'll bet there was a clip. Or a low block, perhaps, by one of the Miami Hurricanes. We'll take another look at it. Highsmith has hands on hips. He knows what's going on out there. Melvin Bratton, the lead blocker out there, and let's see, Drew.
Well, they kind of threw the block before he caught the football. That's what I think the play was, or unless it was a clip after that. But that's the same play they were using in the first quarter. Oh, no, touchdown. It's good.
Well, that surprises me.
I don't know what the penalty was on that play. We need a clarification on that.
It sure looked like on the replay at the bottom of our screen that Boyd Cowan had been clipped down there by number 5, Melvin Bratton.
Why did they throw the flag? They haven't given an indication.
No, they sure haven't, have they? Well, that's interesting. And quite frankly, I'm a little bit at a loss with that one right now.
Might have been an inadvertent penalty flag.
Maybe so.
That's the only thing I could think of.
37-3. At this point, it doesn't seem to make a whole lot of difference. And Seelig kicks that one up and over the screen behind the goal post. It's 38-3. 10-17 to go. Highsmith has his 2nd touchdown catch of the night. Here's another look at it.
Testaverde drops back. He gets the pass rush. Just lofts it over all the defensive players' heads. Here's Highsmith all alone. He goes in the end zone virtually untouched.
From 19 yards out. He had a 19-yard catch earlier. I make that a 51-yard catch in the first quarter. That's the 4th touchdown pass of the night for Testaverde. A 4-play, 52-yard drive, a minute 11 consumed on the clock. Last week, Testaverde was 12 of 25 for 161 yards, a touchdown and 3 interceptions, way below what he normally expects. And again, he's under some pressure this year, not only to win, but he's expected to contend for the Heisman. So he certainly needed these numbers. 16 of 25, 330 yards, 4 touchdowns for Vinny Testaverde so far.
That sounds like a whole day's work. Get him out the game. Let's get him out. Get the backup sometime.
Well, I was going to say, now, 2 weeks ago against South Carolina, Drew, they played Testaverde in the 4th quarter of a game in South Carolina when he was leading 34-0. And Jimmy Johnson said, they asked him if he, why he tried to run the score up, and he said, well, I'm going to leave my guys in and allow them to get ready for the tough schedule, even if it means leaving them in for the 4th quarter. That's a little bit controversial, but he did it anyway.
Well, and also they have a 2-week layoff. They don't play Oklahoma until the 27th, so probably wants to give them some game action.
Well, anyway, we'll wait and see if he comes back a bit later. Here's Keith Henderson, gets it out to the 25-yard line. So Tech will set up shop at their own 24 with 10 minutes and 12 seconds to go here in the 3rd. Let's pass along some other scores for you. And the other Southwest Conference teams are doing very well tonight, but against much lesser opponents than this one. A&M is leading LSU. They're a good team and doing it in Baton Rouge, 14-0. Our last report on that game in the 2nd quarter. Second period in Waco, it was Baylor leading Louisiana Tech 21-0. Likewise, SMU over Rice 21-zip in the 2nd, and 21-0 Arkansas over Ole Miss at the half. Monty McGuire, the quarterback. Isaac Garnett off left tackle, gets 5. Advances it out to the 30-yard line. George Myra Jr. into the ball game. The normal starting middle linebacker makes the tackle again for some reason, and we were not told why. He did not start tonight. He is the son of the former All-American George Myra Sr. Veteran football fans back in Lubbock will probably remember Myra as a quarterback here and in the NFL and in the Old World Football League for a few years. 9:40 to play in the 3rd, 38-3. Bill Coates and Drew Pearson with you. Happy to be here, looking for something positive for the Red Raiders here in the final quarter and a half, and they get good yardage from Clifton Winston. And that'll set up a 3rd down and make that a 1st down. I believe did Texas Tech move the stick? Yeah, I think they did. That's going to be a 1st down Red Raiders. Good job there. A 4.5-yard gain for Winston. And they continue to march the football here. Look at that stat.
Well, that's important, Bill, because we know how much the Red Raiders attack, offensive attack, depends on their passing ability. And they haven't had the production today with only 102 yards to this point in the passing game.
Monty McGuire will try to add to that, looking for Tannehill, who had it for a moment. But Kevin McCutcheon, the senior strong safety who's playing in place of the injured Selwyn Brown tonight, who's out with ankle problems, separates him and the ball at the 45-yard line.
Well, that Tannehill's been taking some tough shots tonight. They're laying that ball out to him. He's trying to make the effort to catch the football. He's a former quarterback, so he knows that he has to get that ball down, and he's making every effort to try to catch the ball, but these Miami Hurricanes are really tattooing him. 8 receptions for 82 yards last week against Kansas State. McGuire again. Good protection. Goes out in the flat for Price, about 25 yards downfield, and the other flex end not able to hang on. He made a good effort for it. Same play, Bill. Yeah. Same play, just a different guy. Not a bad idea. Go to the same place again. Well, it's open. They just got to get that ball into it. They're not executing. The play is there. They're just not executing. Looks like they're going back to the same game plan that they started out the beginning of the game with, trying to throw to the flex end. Here's 3rd and 10 for the Red Raiders. Walker, top of your screen. Eddie Anderson to the bottom. Draw play, Irvin Ferris. Miami having none of that trickery. And it's 4th down in a bunch, and here come the Red Raider punting team. Punter Jamie Simmons back into the ball game. Last week, 55 passes against Kansas State. Last year, the Red Raiders were into their 5th game before they had thrown 55 passes. That gives you some idea of how drastically their offense has changed, and it will honestly take a little while for things to get, for the kinks to get worked out. Fortunately, this one doesn't count in the conference standings. And here's another punt block from Bubba McDowell. Same guy, picked up by McCutcheon, and he may go all the way. You can advance a block punt, and McCutcheon will take it in for the touchdown. As long as the ball lands behind the line of scrimmage, you can advance a block punt. Kevin McCutcheon brings it all the way for the touchdown after Bubba McDowell blocks his 2nd punt of the night, and it's now 44-3. The Red Raiders did not make an adjustment at halftime in their punt protection team, and Bubba McDowell once again comes in untouched. And you can't blame that on the punter, Simmons, man. He just does not have time to kick that football. And there's Kevin McCutcheon going in the end zone unmolested. Yeah, unmolested. Only man to beat was Simmons, and McCutcheon even had a blocker out in front of him. It was almost like they planned, they practiced that particular play. The man that gave the key block was McDowell, who blocked the punt. He's probably screaming lateral the ball to me. I want to score. Well, they missed the extra point. 44-3. The score, middle of the 3rd quarter.
Will kick off.
Everything that could have happened bad has happened tonight for the Red Raiders. Miami has now scored on a block punt. They have 4 touchdown passes from Testaverde, a touchdown run from Testaverde, and a block punt by Bubba McDowell, picked up by McCutcheon. Extra point missed. That's about the only thing that's gone wrong for Miami tonight. 44-3. Selig's kickoff carries Wayne Walker about 6 yards deep. And bad field position again for the Red Raiders. They've had lousy field position most of the night.
University of Miami, Texas Tech, in the city of Miami.
8:16 to play, middle of the 3rd quarter. Actually, not quite middle of the 3rd here at the Orange Bowl in Miami.
925.
But better days ahead for the Red Raiders. This is only the 2nd game of the season. Next Saturday night, they have New Mexico in town. Tickets available for that game in Lubbock. Starts at 7 o'clock. Be there. This man needs your support. He has a good plan for the Red Raider program, and hopes to, in a couple of years, reverse scores like this one. And I think he can do it. Here's Monty McGuire out into the flat, and boy, Miami, man, they smell blood right now, Drew, and they're just laying the wood on the Red Raiders.
Well, they certainly are. Their defense is really playing heads up. Again, they're only rushing 3 guys, and everybody else is dropped back in the secondary. They know the Red Raiders have to throw the football, and there's just no room. Even if they do make the catch, there's no room to to advance the ball after they make the catch.
I do like Irvin Ferris, 5'11", 220 pounds, out of Fort Worth's Trimble Tech High School. He hung in there that time, and even though he took that shot from Darrell Fullington, he hung on to the ball. 2nd down and 5. Man in motion is Ferris, who has been busy tonight. And the fumble in the backfield, that is Garnett. Miami falls on it. They have it again. Isaac Garnett, I believe, was the ball carrier. Check that, Clifton Winston. And he was nailed by Winston Moss.
Well, Bill, you know the name of the game is field position, and the Red Raiders haven't had field position all evening, and that's all Miami's has had, and it's because of turnovers like that, either the fumbles or the interceptions, that have made the difference to this point as far as the field position is concerned. That's Evan Ferris on the fumble right there, and the Miami Hurricanes are all over that ball.
Okay. Well, is it still Testaverde? Yep. He's trying to pad his stats now. 4 touchdown passes already, and it's the 25-yard line. The Red Raiders a little bit mad right now, a little bit frustrated. Their pride hurt, and they sacked Melvin Bratton for a 7-yard loss.
Well, they're showing,
that.
Yeah, they're showing some pride now, and that's what you got to play for in this situation. You're down 44-3, and there's really no chance of you to get back in the football game. But you kind of learn from experiences like this, and of course, not laying down in a situation like this is something that could be positive for your football team in the long run.
Absolutely. The backup left tackle, we'll try to talk about him in a little bit, is 6'8". The Miami backup tackle, number 78. He's a former basketball player. Testaverde looking to throw on 2nd down. Has Perryman at the 25-yard line. Nope. Incomplete. Ball hit the ground.
Well, Miami's still throwing the football. I like to see them just run it. They got 2 great backs in Bratton and Highsmith. Let them get some work. We know what Testaverde can do.
Yep. But again, I guess, Drew, when you've got a publicity machine trying to get you a Heisman Trophy, and you see the opportunity to pad your stats, it seems like that's what they're trying to do right now.
Well, that's what they're trying to do, and that definitely was not a catch. The ball hit the ground. Here's another ISO. That's what we used to call a zoom route. Come inside and try to make the catch for a short gain, but they hit the ground first. 3rd and 18.
I'll bet Texas Tech has a good rush here. They do. But Testaverde able to scramble. He's got a man wide open. Perryman out of bounds at the 10-yard line. Had his foot out of bounds.
Well, Testaverde, he sets up. He feels a little pass rush. This was what makes him a good quarterback, because he can get out of that pocket, and he throws very well on the run. But the receiver that time, Perryman, was out of bounds. Lack of concentration on Perryman's part. He should have known where that sideline was, felt it a little bit, and not make the catch out of bounds. He's wide open.
You worked with a quarterback who could hit you on the sideline pretty well. Roger and you had a little I don't know, it was you could just sense each other, couldn't you?
Yeah, we had a good feel for each other, and that came with a lot of hard work. That's something that just didn't happen. A lot of hard work, and it paid off in our timing.
Well, maybe it will in the long run for the Red Raiders as they get their passing game together. Miami misfires on their drive, and here's a field goal attempt of 39 yards from Seelig, but some jumping early on before the snap. 6:35 to go in the 3rd period.
I think we had a delay game there. I think the clock ran out. To get in time to get the play off.
A 25-second clock used in college football. It's at the corner of the end zone behind the Miami players as Tech looks at it, and to the top left of your screen is Testaverde, and the offense looks at it. That was a delay of game. So they move it back and now make it a 54-yard field goal attempt here from Seelig. Low driving kick. It's not going to be there.
Now they had a missed connection from the center snap to the holder. The holder bobbled the ball, and that threw off the kicker's timing on that play.
And good field position here for the Red Raiders, and now we'll get another indication. Offsides, Texas Tech. I didn't see the flag. It's way across the field. I didn't see the flag that time, and they're going to do it again. Give him another shot at it. Oh, my goodness.
Well, the old saying, the old cliche, when it rains, it pours, and that's what's happening here in Miami.
Yeah.
The hurricane is blowing in.
That's right. That's right. The hurricane has blown in, hasn't it? That's right. Hurricane Testaverde has swept through the Orange Bowl tonight.
You can see on that replay that the holder fumbled the snap, and they're getting another shot at it.
Hurricane Vinny put out the storm warnings. This is a 49-yarder, and Selig will get another crack at it. That one's up, and that one may be through. It will be. Oh, just cleared. 49-yarder. He misses one. They call a penalty. He comes back and kicks another one. And it is now 47-3. Miami leading the Red Raiders. Stars and Stripes Cinema starts next Sunday. And every Sunday it runs at 7 o'clock on KJTV 34. Stars and Stripes Cinema, war movies to be seen. KJ Television, Channel 34, Lubbock, Texas. And Drew and I are delighted to be able to bring this game to you tonight, along with the help of a lot of good folks back in the Lubbock area. The home of KJTV, Channel 34, Lubbock, Texas. 47-3. The second-ranked Hurricanes have led since the first drive of this football game. They went right down the field, Testaverde to Charles Henry, and it was off and running for that young man tonight, and that's what we've got right now, Drew.
Yes, we do. And, you know, Miami came out. They wanted to prove that they deserved the #2 ranking. They're playing their first game this season at home, so they were really fired up. This crowd still is fired up. The student section over to our right from our booth here, they're still playing, yelling, and just having a good time. Yeah,
a good time to be had by all if you're a Miami fan tonight. If you're a Tech fan, only to look ahead and try to accentuate the positive. One positive, again, that I have seen tonight, pretty good pass rush on Testaverde, but he's been able to scramble out of the pocket. Irvin Ferris has looked very good tonight. Tolliver in spurts looked good in the first half. Red Raiders were able to move the ball a couple of times in the first half, but not able to punch it in. Still haven't scored. They kick it to Wayne Walker. Walker comes out. Not much room. Not much to be had on the far side of the field.
Well, Bill, you're not going to get much going east and west against this Miami kickoff coverage team. You got to go north and south with it.
Dave Stafer brought him down, and the flag shows clip, Drew, and we were talking about it a moment ago. Bad field position all night long, particularly in the third quarter so far for the Red Raiders.
Yeah, that just adds to the woes, and when you have to start inside your 10 almost on every possession, then there's really not much your offense can do. It's just a tough situation when you're backed up in a hole like that.
The largest margin of defeat for the Red Raiders ever, 1949. Texas beat them 43-0. If this score stands, this will be the worst defeat in Red Raider history.
And this is still the third quarter.
And this is still the third quarter with 6:18 to go.
Let's see if they can get something going now.
They need to score. That's you would hate to see them leave the Orange Bowl tonight without a touchdown. I'd like to see something on the board from Mr. Monty McGuire, the senior from Monahans. He has wide receivers in the picture, including Tyrone Thurman, who has been shut down tonight. Throws it to Garnett coming across the middle, and Isaac gets about 8 yards before Myra drags him down.
Bill, I believe, other than a couple catches by the flex ends, I believe the wide receivers as a whole have been shut out. The Smurfs have been totally shut out.
We'll check that with our statistician, Paul Newman. Yeah,
I only can remember one pass thrown to the outside, and that was to Walker out there,
who caught a 38-yarder last week. Obviously, they had the Red Raiders well scouted. No, the wide receivers have not caught a pass tonight. They've tried it. It's been backs. It's been running backs in the flex ends. Good point. And a timeout by McGuire. Facing a 2nd and 3, he wants to go over and talk to the offensive coordinator, pinned way back at his own 14-yard line. Well, let's recap for you again some of the scoring. And Testaverde started it off with a touchdown pass to Charles Henry. Then he hit Alonzo Highsmith in the first quarter. This was all the first quarter. They had 11 first downs in the opening period. That is remarkable. Alonzo Highsmith has 2 touchdown catches. Michael Irvin has 1. Testaverde ran for 1. Mark Selig, a 48-yard field goal. A pair of, well, let's see, he had a 48-yard field goal in the second half. He's had a pair of 40-plus field goals so far. Be sure to be watching Monday at 5 when the Beverly Hillbillies move to their new time period, followed by Alice at 5:30. Too Close for Comfort at 6, and Give Me a Break at 6:30. Right here on KJTV, Channel 34. Second down and 3 following the timeout. Tech still has 2 to go here in the second half. Winding down the third period. Long count by McGuire. This is Garnett again. And this is Garnett getting driven to the ground by Myra and his buddies. Dan Cilio, number 93, also in on the stop. A walk-on here, earned a scholarship after playing briefly at both Maryland and the University of Cincinnati. Couldn't make up his mind where he wanted to be, so he finally came south. Must have liked the, he'd have to like humidity to be here, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he likes that Miami Vice.
I guess so. In fact, they even have, it's funny, they have the theme song from Miami Vice as a background on their recruiting film here at the University of Miami. They've tried to capitalize on Don Johnson. Interception. McGuire throws it right into the arms of Bubba McDowell, who scores. Bubba McDowell is the guy who blocked the 2 punts. He didn't get to score on either one of them, but he intercepts the pass here and returns it for a touchdown.
Well, Bubba McDowell's playing a heck of a football game. The receiver that time fell down. He was bumped on the play. I think it was Tannenhill. Miami Hurricane defender bumped him on the play. He fell down, and that just flipped the ball out there for anybody to grab, and McDowell said, hey, I'm going to take it. And watch this dive in the end zone. Give him a 9-8 on that dive.
A la Herschel Walker Monday night against the Giants.
And there's this Smurf Thurman. He's just taking the receivers to the outside. Look at that chuck by McDowell on Thurman. McDowell just takes it in. A la Herschel Walker.
That's right. That looked like Herschel on Monday against the Giants. And this looks like a rout. 54-3. 4:56 to play in the third quarter. Well, the only suspense left now, I suppose, is to see if Texas Tech can prevent this from being the most lopsided loss in their history. In 1949, Texas beat them by 43. This is now a 51-point ball game, and at least present those facts to you. We hate to have to, but 54-3 speaks for itself. Have to take your hat off to Miami. They look very impressive tonight. And it's back to the drawing board next week for David McWilliams, although I'm sure he'll be able to get this turned around and get the Red Raiders back on track. This one lands to Wayne Walker. About the 1-yard line, not much available, and they take him up in the air and drill him at the 22.
Well, that's about the best field position they've had in about the last 5 possessions.
Made the stop on special teams for Miami.
Indeed, and Miami does hit. They will hit you in every phase of their game.
22-yard return.
54-3 still in the third. 4 minutes and 50 seconds left to play. And a lot of substitutes in the ball game now for the Miami Hurricanes. We will give you some of them, and some of them we will ignore and concentrate on the Red Raiders and some of the new personnel that maybe you'll see. Monty McGuire throwing, and he finally has a wide receiver. That's Eddie Anderson. First pass of the night to a wide receiver. First completion of the night. Anderson had 7 catches last week. That's his 8th of the season. Drew?
Well, Anderson lined up inside. That's where they've been lining the flex end up on this particular pass route. It's the same route they've been running all night, trying to take advantage of that cover 2 zone where the cornerback rolls up, the safety covers deep, and that time it worked for him.
Basil Proctor into the defensive backfield for Miami there to make the stop. Another first down. This is McGuire. Dropping this time. Out into the flat to his freshman tight end, Kevin Sprinkles. They really like Kevin Sprinkles. He has a first down. The Red Raiders will move the sticks again. This Sprinkles is 6'5", 220 pounds. He is a true freshman, only 2 of them playing. He's from Troy, Texas. Jamie Simmons, the punter, is the only other true freshman playing, and that's a pretty big target, Drew.
Oh, yes, it is. And that time they took the wide receiver, ran him deep, and had the tight end. And that, in a passing attack, it's either the tight end or the flex end in that position. That time it was a tight end. He took it for an out route for the gain in the first down.
John Mize really likes Kevin Sprinkles as the tight end of the future here at Texas Tech. Maybe the tight end of the present. He started tonight. Ferris on first down, nothing available to him that time. Again, Myra and others there to bring him down. Don Ellis checking into the ball game. Victor Morris, we've called his number already once tonight, also in on the stop. Doug McFadden into the backfield along with Darrell Fullington and Basil Proctor, the 4 deep men. Randy Shannon, a linebacker. Bubba McDowell, that man, is playing an outside backer position. McGuire with 1 back. Heavy rush. Derwin Jones misses him. Being flushed out of the pocket here by a Miami Hurricane, and Monty McGuire showing a little scrambling ability. He's not known for that. He's very close to the first down. Should have it, a 10-yard gain. Greg Mark providing part of the pass rush there, Drew, but McGuire looking like Testaverde there.
Well, he got out of there. There was no chance to even look downfield or throw the football. The pass rush was coming so quickly, and he just put it under his arm and took off with it. And it's the first time in a long time, at least in this half, that they've been in Miami's territory.
Good point. Ball at the 34-yard line. Wayne Walker, Eddie Anderson, McCutcheon, this freshman, is make that Sprinkles. The freshman is the flex end here. And this is Clifton Winston, the fullback, pounding on the left side. And Miami tough to run on. Very tough to run on. Tech has had some success on the ground tonight. We'll get the Tech rushing totals for you in just a moment, but at least more success than Florida and South Carolina had in their opening 2 games. South Carolina 39 yards rushing, and Florida only 59 yards rushing last week. Again, to put it in perspective how tough this Miami defense is, Florida is a top 20 team, and that's the only yardage they could get on the ground last week out of this Miami defense. Here they come on the blitz. Monty McGuire gets rid of it, but they were bringing people that time. James Gray, the intended receiver out there, 72 yards on the ground. Not much better, but they do have a little bit more rushing yardage. 72 yards on the ground so far tonight. Let's see, who was Gary Mahon, a defensive tackle, was coming in, and he's the guy that belted McGuire when he released the football. Here's a 3rd and 9 with 2 minutes and 11 seconds, and the clock stopped right now.
Well, let's see if they can go downfield and throw to these outside guys. When they did one time, it worked. Let's see if they can go back.
Travis Price is the flex end here. Eddie Anderson, Wayne Walker, James Gray in the formation, and a sack, another one. Oh. Greg Mark, number 94, in there, along with Derwin Jones. Oh, boy. Look out. 4th and a bunch.
Yeah, it's a tough situation. What are they going to do? They'll probably have to go for it.
Yeah, that's out of Segrist's range. Well, I won't say that. He did kick a 62-yarder, but the wind's blowing in his face here, so I doubt that David McWilliams will be satisfied with the field goal try here. No, he won't. Oh, number 9, Scott Segrist, in this situation. They're going to go for it. Sprinkles the flex in. McGuire calling the signals. 4 down linemen, and you can bet Miami will be back in its ears for a pass rush here. McGuire wants it all over the middle to Anderson and has him. At the 15, still on his feet. Eddie Anderson, tough to bring down. He has 2 catches on this drive, and the ball at the 12, a 23-yard gain.
Well, they had Anderson early on the play, but McGuire didn't have the time to throw. This time he gets the time and he hits Anderson. He just runs the in route. Nice move to the break to the outside, fake outside, break to the inside. And watch this little guy try to stay on his feet and try to get himself in the end zone.
Monty McGuire, after having that pass picked off on the last drive in return for a touchdown, has shown some nice poise here to lead the Red Raiders back down the field. They have it at the 12. 2 running backs in the pattern here. Travis Price, Wayne Walker also in there. Give us to Gray. And the redshirt freshman from Fort Worth is tripped up by Victor Morris, trying to go to the outside. May have lost a half yard.
Well, Bill, when you run that type of play without a tight end in there to help with your blocking scheme, it's very tough to get outside.
39 seconds. The clock thankfully winding down. The third quarter here in Miami.
Third what?
Yeah, I was going to say, I bet, well, the Red Raiders want to have a fourth quarter. I think they have something to prove, I think, in the fourth quarter. They'd like to get a couple of touchdowns, and so they would happily take these final 15 minutes. And here's a nice pass to Sprinkles. Look at him drive for the touchdown.
Right, great play by Sprinkles.
Miami Hurricanes thrown all over the field that time, and a star is being born at Texas Tech. Kevin Sprinkles, only a freshman. Remember that name. He played last week. As we isolate Kevin Sprinkles out of the backfield, broke 2 tackles.
That was a nice play. They've been running this play all day, either with the flex end or the tight end. This time it's with the tight end. Here we are from behind the quarterback. Nice pass by McGuire to give it to Sprinkles so he has a chance to turn it upfield. And it's all Sprinkles from that point. He just bowls his way into the end zone.
And they'll go for 2 here. Red Raiders will have it at the 3-yard line of Miami, as is standard for 3-point conversions, and they'll try to tack on 2 here. McGuire will loft it up for Wayne Walker. Well, not a touchdown, but a 2-point conversion. So McGuire throws the touchdown pass to Sprinkles in the 2-point conversion to Wayne Walker. And with 8 seconds to play here in the third, it's now 54-11.
Nice execution on that extra point. I know it's only for two points, but it was nice execution by McGuire and Wayne Walker. Nice catch by Walker.
First time he's touched the ball as a receiver tonight, Drew. We mentioned that a moment ago.
That drive took 9 plays and they went 77 yards and used almost 5 minutes, 4 minutes and 42 seconds on it. Good drive by the Red Raiders. That's encouraging.
And there was a drive where they mixed the run and the pass. That's the kind of drive that David McWilliams is looking for.
Yes, sir.
He needs about 6 more of them tonight, but something to build on for next week when New Mexico visits Jones Stadium. Remind you again, 7 o'clock kickoff. Had 37,000 at Jones Stadium last week. They'd like to fill it up next Saturday night. And there are still tickets available, so be sure and stop by the Red Raider Athletic Department and other places around town and pick up your football tickets for next Saturday night. Red Raiders were 3-0 in non-conference action last year, finished 4-7. They'll be 1-1 after tonight, and then look to rebound next Saturday. Here's Segrist kickoff. Haven't seen much of Segrist kicking off tonight. J.C. Penney. Here he goes. Flag down. He's out to the 36-yard line. Flag way back downfield. As Monty Melcher makes the stop. Haven't seen much of J.C. Penney as a running back tonight. I don't know if we've seen him at all. I've seen him on a couple of kickoff returns. And they called the penalty against Miami. You can almost expect that to happen on a kickoff when, as they wind down the third quarter, that's the end of 3. They'll mark this penalty off and then change ends of the field, I guess. Before they change ends of the field, as a matter of formality, I guess the referees will mark it off. And while they do all of that, we will take a break. That's the end of the third period. Look at that score, 54-11 Miami. Well, 54-11 in favor of Miami as Jeff Torretta comes into the ball game. So Testaverde plays 3 quarters. And here come the Hurricanes.
Jeff Torretta now playing quarterback for the Hurricanes.
From their own 11-yard line. Jeff Torretta, transfer from Cal Berkeley, and on the first play, he may have a touchdown working here. No, they bring him down at the 50-yard line. That's Eric Ham. They're going way into the depth chart now. 36-yard gainer. Eric Ham, a fullback, a junior from Merritt Island, Florida. And
Phil, that's his first carry this year.
Yeah, and I don't have him on my spotter board, so I'm going to need your help here, Drew.
Well, that's his first carry.
Oh, my. Eric Ham. And that was a touchdown-saving tackle by the Red Raiders out there as Now they change ends. You know something? That was the final play of the third quarter. That penalty that I talked about before the break, you can't end the period on a penalty, and that was the end of the third quarter, I think. So what they'll do is that you can't end the period on a penalty, so that was the final play actually in the third quarter.
For 41 yards.
And so now we begin the fourth period. Even though there was no time showing on the clock, they allowed the Miami Hurricanes to run their play. And here's Texas Tech on defense as they just exchange sides of the field. And now the Hurricanes go the other way. And Jeff Torretta, who spent the early part of his college career at University of California before transferring here, gives to J.C. Penney, who gets 5 yards into Red Raider territory. So Torretta, who was 0 of 2 last week, or in his first game in South Carolina, 1 interception, is now quarterbacking the Hurricanes. Through 3 quarters, Miami had 407 yards of total offense, 330 of that through the air. Drew, Tech had 251 yards, and Testaverde finishes 16 of 27, 330 yards and 4 touchdowns. Torretta's number 13, and his running back, again, J.C. Penney, 5'8". Penney's a 180-pound junior from Youngstown, Ohio. The hometown of Bernie Kosar, who quarterbacked Miami to their national championship in 1983.
They've had a history of good quarterbacks in this University of Miami football program. Of course, Bernie Kosar, Jim Kelly, and way back, if you can remember this, Bill, George Myra.
Yeah. Whose son's now playing, old enough for him to be playing now. Throw over the middle is incomplete by Torretta. You know, it's interesting. The quarterback coach here at Miami in the early part of Testaverde's career was Earl Morrill, who was fine play. The first punt of the night coming up by Jeff Beagles. But anyway, Earl Morrill was here for several years as the quarterback coach. He trained Kelly, he trained Kosar, and Testaverde had a year under him before Howard Schnellenberger, the head coach, left for the USFL. So Testaverde even got some schooling from Earl Morrill. Beagles with a nice punt. He's been anxiously awaiting this opportunity. This one turns over and drops at the 8-yard line. Tyrone Thurman downing it there.
Fair catch by
42-yard punt right there. Into the wind. Not a bad punt.
Not bad at all. 13:30 to play in this final quarter. 54-11. We'll return to the Orange Bowl in a moment. 13:33 to play in the fourth period. Bill Coates, along with former Dallas Cowboy All-Pro Drew Pearson, here tonight at the Orange Bowl. Miami has been impressive. They lead 54-11, but the Red Raider defense holds, and they get the ball back. Monty McGuire, who engineered that last touchdown drive, looking for Eddie Anderson. This one,
McGuire's pass intended
a
for
bit too
Eddie
long
Anderson.
for him, and
Incomplete.
it's incomplete. As Basil Proctor, they're on coverage.
Hurricane Club members, you're welcome to attend.
Well, Bill, there's that bad field position once again. They're starting this drive on their own 8-yard line, and that's the way it's been throughout this football game. We hate to keep bringing that up, but it's very tough to get your offense going when you have that type of field position. Monty McGuire is 6 for 13 with 86 yards, 1 interception, and 1 TD.
And 1 TD, one nicely done TD. Kevin Sprinkles. Great drop by McGuire. Almost intercepted and caught by Wayne Walker. Nice job. Had Bobby Harden in the way out there, and Walker with one hand went up and got that one.
We're talking about concentration for a wide receiver. That's what you have to catch the football. McGuire throws this ball. It gets tipped by a Miami Hurricane right there, and watch this concentration. One hand. Looked like he had the big glove, big first baseman's glove on that play.
Walker had 2 catches last week for a 25-yard average, including a 38-yard touchdown pass. First time he's actually touched the ball other than that 2-point conversion a moment ago tonight, and this one tipped away from Eddie Anderson by the Hurricanes, Darrell Fullington. McGuire almost on target, but good defensive work out there by the Hurricanes.
Well, the Hurricanes keep running that inside guy to the outside. I mean, the Red Raiders keep running that inside guy to the outside. I like to see him fake it to the outside and come across the middle with that. He might be there.
Yeah, 2nd and 10. Well, let's look for that. Walker, Anderson, Sprinkles, and James Gray, number 31, top of your screen in the slot. Lone running back, Isaac Garnett. They flush Monty McGuire out of the pocket. He becomes a scrambler again and is down on the other side of the field. Hit hard over there, and you could tell immediately that he wasn't going to get up real quickly from that shot. Ernest Parrish put it on him, and so Monty McGuire is down. The other Red Raider quarterback is the former starter Aaron Cassee, number 15, and he is here tonight, isn't he? Aaron Cassee is here, but McGuire is down on the field, and we'll see who they bring in. It'll most likely be Scott Toman if they need a 3rd-string quarterback.
A lot of times, Bill, when your leg gets bent under like that and you're looking at the knee, it's usually the knee injury. I saw Billy Sims go down like that. He just got tackled high. His leg went under him and ended his career. Let's hope it's not that serious for Monty McGuire.
Nobody likes to see this sort of thing happen on either side of the field.
That leg just got tucked under him, and the Miami Hurricane defender just fell on top of McGuire. And boy, that's going to hurt for a while.
Yeah, that doesn't look good. We won't make any judgments from up here, but that does not look encouraging as Monty McGuire sits down. But as his touchdown pass, the only touchdown of the evening for the Red Raiders, and Billy Joe Tolliver is back in the ball game. So after a long rest, Tolliver under heavy pressure, being flushed out of the pocket. He'll throw it up for grabs and no good. Way short of the mark. Harden, the defender out there, number 39, along with Ernest Parrish, who was providing the pressure from his right end position. And on 3rd and long, well, 3rd and 3 actually, they try the pass, and it's now 4th down and 3. And a punting situation upcoming as Chris Burns will get his shot. Simmons perhaps a little gun shy now after 2 blocks, and they'll give Chris Burns a chance to punt here. Burns is a sophomore from Vernon. Nice kick. This one will turn over. This one will also bounce at about the 28. This will be a heck of a kick. It'll get a nice attack roll down to the 18. Red Raiders will down it there. And with 12:05 to go here in the 4th quarter, the ball changes possessions. Miami leading the Red Raiders by 43 points. Well, the Texas Tech rushing total is now 27 for 62. Red Raiders playing defense right now. We'll give you some of their totals in a moment. Individually rushing, this is a 1st down and 10 for Jeff Torretta. Heavy pass rush. He gets away from it, but boy, the white-shirted Red Raiders all over him, and a flag flies. James Mosley, the last guy in there after Michael Johnson and others that all had shots at Torretta, and they call a face mask against Texas Tech. Maybe a frustration penalty there, just a chance to get a shot at one of the Miami quarterbacks, and maybe too many guys in there that time. One of them grabbed Torretta's face mask, so this will cost Texas Tech some yardage after a nice play. Clock stopped at exactly 12 minutes to go here in the 4th quarter, and this is an inadvertent call. You can either nail them for 15 or 5 if you judge it as an inadvertent face mask, and they do that, so they penalize the Red Raiders 5 yards, call it 1st and 5, split backs, and this is Torretta. Draw play for the Miami Hurricanes. J.C. Penney again, make that Ham, I'm sorry, Eric Ham, number 41, who had that 37-yard run at the end of the 3rd period a while ago. Give you some of the Red Raider defenders, some of the substitutions in there. Leonard Jones is still in there. Eric Everett, Roland Mitchell, Boyd Cowan, Warren, Gary Warren, a linebacker. Most of the starters from the back 7 are still out there on 1st and 10. J.C. Penney carries the ball. Tony Durden, the middle linebacker.
Some happy fans.
Yeah, they They like it, don't they?
They say, hey, Lubbock.
Hello, Lubbock. Better things are ahead. We just want to remind you of that. This is a very good football team. This is not just your normal college football team. Red Raiders knew that coming in. 10:50 and counting here in the fourth period. Torretta, second down and 9 faced here. Desmond Royal in the ball game as a defensive tackle. Torretta wants it all. Has Perryman out there, and he makes the catch.
Torretta's pass incomplete to number 33.
He beat Roland Mitchell,
Perryman.
who never looked back
Number 25.
until the ball was into the arms of
Roland
Perryman, a
Mitchell.
40-yard completion.
Well, that's a nice catch by Perryman. I mean, the quarterback laid it up there. Torretta laid it up there. But Perryman makes a nice adjustment on the ball, and he's made some of these nice catches all evening. It is a great concentration. Great concentration. Nice execution.
Perryman had 3 catches for a 27-yard average last week. 14 receptions last year. Having a good evening tonight. He started in place of Brian Blades. And Torretta, with Eric Ham carrying the ball, man, he looks great. Look at that run down to the 15. Breaking tackles before Ricky Boysaw, Boyd Cowan, and Roland Mitchell finally bring him down and throw in Leonard Jones. It took 4 Red Raiders to finally corral him. Schwertner was the first man to lay a hand on him before he spins into about 4 Red Raider tacklers.
Well, Eric Ham, he's just working on that play. He's working hard. He's getting an opportunity to play, and he's trying to make the best of it. And now it's 3 rushes for 55 yards.
Miami is so deep. They have 2 deep at every position. 3 carries, 55 yards for Eric Ham. Here's J.C. Penney. He breaks a tackle, and he's going to score.
J.C. Penney. J.C. with a touchdown run of 16 yards.
A 16-yard run by J.C. Penney, and we've just seen an exhibition in how to bowl over tacklers that time by Eric Ham and then J.C. Penney. Red Raiders were there, but some tough running by a little guy. J.C. Penney's only 5'6".
He's just running over everybody. Again, here's another back, a reserve back, getting his opportunity to play, and he wants to make the best of it. And he takes the ball in the end zone with an excellent run.
A 60-point game here for the Miami Hurricanes. For the extra point to come here from Greg Cox. And let's take a break with 9:49 to play here in the fourth period. This one's out of hand. 61-11, Miami leading Texas Tech. Well, I hate to pass this stat along to you. They've been playing football at Texas Tech since 1925, 61 years. And this 61 points is the largest margin, most points ever scored against the Red Raiders. Ouch. Okay, ball bobbled at the 16-yard line, and the Red Raiders recover. Texas Tech, though, in 1925, as long as we're passing along negative stats, let's pass along a positive one. That same year, the year they began football at Texas Tech in 1925, the Red Raiders beat Wayland, which is now Wayland Baptist, but Wayland 120-0 in football. 120-0 in that first year of football back in 1925. But this is the most points ever scored against the Red Raider football team. And look at that total yardage. 520 total yards for Miami to 281 for the Red Raiders. 8:45 to play here in the fourth period. And Tolliver goes out into the flat. And here's a roughing play as Dan Cilio, long after Tolliver had released the ball, knocked Billy Joe to the ground, and they'll call roughing. And as well as they should. Personal foul, roughing the passer. That will give the Red Raiders a first down, and I'm sure Billy Joe Tolliver would love to get a touchdown pass here, lead a touchdown drives. He needs it as a confidence builder with 9 games to go. Red Raiders still believe they have bowl potential, would like to get a winning season in, and Tolliver will be looking to score here, and this will help him along the way, maybe. Drew, I've enjoyed working with you tonight. We've got a long way to go here in this ball game. Some time for Texas Tech to do something, but it's been an interesting night.
It certainly has. But I think these Red Raiders will be all right. This is just a good team they ran into, and they're a fired-up team when they came in here. And, I certainly don't think this is an indication of what the season's going to be like for the Red Raiders.
Or particularly the future with McWilliams as the coach. This is David Sprinkles, number 83 again. Sprinkles, a good-looking young player. If they keep recruiting guys like him, it won't take long before some of these scores will be reversed in Texas Tech's favor. Sprinkles will leave the football game, and Travis Price will come back in. Troy, Texas can be mighty proud of David Sprinkles. He has a touchdown catch tonight, and then a nice catch there, a first down. Check that, a second down 3 as they gain 7. Second and 3 with 8.5 to play. High formation behind Billy Joe Tolliver. Top of the screen, that's Papa Smurf Tyrone Thurman, but they give it at right tackle to Isaac Garnett, and Isaac should have a first down. Move the chains. And the Red Raiders with a drive working here. They have it all the way out to the 43-yard line.
4-yard gain, first and 10 from the 43.
Paul, if you get a chance, work up some individual rushing stats for Texas Tech for me, please. Paul Newman, our statistician, has done an excellent job tonight. He's had a lot to keep up with, too. Over 500 yards of total offense for University of Miami. First and 10 with 8 minutes to go here. Tolliver, long count. Looking to throw, play action. Wants it all. Has a man out there, Bruce Perkins, but it'll be picked off. Nope. Dropped by Miami's defensive back down there, Doug McFadden. Perkins was open for a moment. Perhaps Billy Joe hung it up a bit too high, and McFadden was able to get over in time to cut it off. But for a moment, Bruce Perkins was open.
Well, he was open, but they're in the zone defense, and if that play is going to be completed, he's got to drill that ball between the cornerback and the safety, and he got to get it there before that safety gets over.
Well, second and 10. 4 wide receivers in the pattern, including 2 slot men at the top of your screen. Tolliver is looking their way and has one of them, Travis Price, across midfield, but he drops the ball, fumble all the way, and recovered by Miami. Definitely a completion. He had it long enough, and the referees have to give it to Miami. That was just too obvious. Basil Proctor there to recover the fumble and the Tech 49-yard line.
Well, they've been running that play all evening. This time they complete it. But there's a good lick on Price, and he gives it up. And the ever-present Miami Hurricane make the recovery.
Bobby Harden, second big hit of the night for Harden. And Proctor with a recovery. Into Tech territory, Torretta wants more. He'll keep it on the ground here at left tackle. For the Hurricanes, it's Steve Staffier, the junior from the Winthrop, Maine. A lot of out-of-staters on this Miami football team. 3 of their offensive linemen are from New Jersey, Drew's old home state. But Texas Tech taking the other approach to its recruiting. 97% of their recruits, of the players on the Texas Tech football team, are from the state of Texas. I like that method of recruiting. There's so many fine players in the state of Texas, and most of these Texas Tech kids are from the Lone Star State. And they did much better this year in the West Texas area in recruiting. Here's Staffier again. He's close to the first down with 7 minutes to play. Third and 1. Drew, you came up from New Jersey all the way to Tulsa, and you became a Southern boy, didn't you?
Still, that's right. I'm a Texan now. I've been in the Dallas area for 14 years, so I'm a Texan for sure.
Tulsa played. Here's a first down carry by Miami. Tulsa played. You and I were talking yesterday on the plane. Tulsa and Texas Tech have had a long-standing rivalry. You played in Lubbock one time. What, about, you tell me when?
Yeah, it was about 1971. We played the Red Raiders there at the University of Texas Tech. And we were very excited about playing the Red Raiders, and they did a job on us, much like the Hurricane is doing right now on the Red Raiders.
It was 35-18 that night.
35-18?
Painful memory for you, Drew.
How many did I catch?
I don't know. Here's trouble for the Hurricanes way back to the 40. Red Raider penetration nails Cleveland Gary back at the 40-yard line. We mentioned him earlier. Cleveland Gary is a transfer from the University of Georgia. He played one season at Georgia, gained over 200 yards rushing, and decided to transfer here. I'm sure Jimmy Johnson's happy to have him. He's a very talented young man, but the Red Raiders hotly pursuing at that time on defense. Gary Warren checks out of the football game, and the linemen here include Troy Hennington, number 94, Ricky Boysaw, David Barksdale also in the ball game. Tip pass almost intercepted on 2nd down and long. Barksdale is a transfer from UT Arlington. He is a refugee of the now defunct football program at the University of Texas at Arlington, and went to the Cotton Bowl with the Texas Longhorns as a reserve in 1983. So this is his 3rd stop. 2 of them in the Southwest Conference. 3rd team defensive lineman, pretty good football player, getting a chance to work his way into the game this evening. Coaches get a look at him. Blitz coming. Durden, he's picked up, and Torretta under fire, releases, and in and out of the hands of his intended receiver. Man, it was intended for Brian Smith. Merv Skurlark in the vicinity. David Kintai was running deep that time, but Torretta didn't see him, and with 5:24 to play, for only the 2nd time tonight, we see Jeff Feagles. And another opportunity for the Red Raiders to go on offense again. Tyrone Thurman, who was not able to muster much punt return yardage last week against Kansas State, won't get an opportunity here as Feagles gets off a rather ugly punt. He was aiming for the coffin corner and gets off a blistering 24-yarder that time.
That's not the only thing they've done wrong so far.
I was going to say, there's not been much misfiring in Miami's attack so far tonight.
But setting the ball on the 19-yard line is still inside the 20, starting their possession.
61-11, a 50-point spread. Be sure to be watching Monday at 5 when the Beverly Hillbillies move to their new time period, followed by Alice at 5:30, Too Close for Comfort at 6, and Give Me a Break at 6:30 right here on KJTV channel 34. Happy to bring you tonight's football game, originating this broadcast in the Orange Bowl in Miami, Florida. 3rd catch for Sprinkles, and there is a 1st down. They are not afraid at all to hit this newly found flex end, a freshman from Troy, David Sprinkles.
Well, he's 6'5", he's an opposing target, and you got to really be trying to miss him because he's so tall. But he runs a nice route. It's just a slant out route, about a 5 to 7 yard route, and at this point, Miami's going to give him that type of route so that they won't throw it deep, and they're not going to let any Red Raider receivers get behind the secondary.
Well, this helps Billy Joe Tolliver, who is starting to do what he was not able to do in the 1st half, and that's find his receivers coming out of the backfield and his flex in. Billy Joe looking for somebody over the middle, and into a crowd. Eddie Anderson, the closest man, almost picked off by number 43, Doug McFadden. Tolliver 13 of 31 now, 126 yards and an interception. McFadden came perilously close to making that 2 interceptions. The largest margin of defeat in history, in Red Raider history, 43 points, and they trail here by 50. So that record, I guess, worth noting. Since we are up here to report the football game, we need to at least make that mention, and then we won't mention it anymore. 61-11. Miami leading Texas Tech by 50, 4:43 to play in the 4th quarter. Well, this is a 2nd down 10 facing Billy Joe Tolliver. Been under heavy pass rush all night long. 13 of 31 passing, and he'll try to hit his 14th of the night. Has a man out there, but Eddie Anderson well covered. Well covered on the play by Miami. Another one of their reserve defensive backs, Kenny Perry, a freshman from Pahokee, Florida, batting that one away. And so Tolliver looks for help across the way. 3rd down, 3rd and 10. And the incomplete pass stops the clock. We expected a long game tonight. This one began at 6:30 Texas time, and it's now approaching 10 o'clock, so this one working on 3.5 hours. And you expect that when you get two throwing teams. Tolliver looks over the Miami defense and doesn't like what he sees, and he'll call timeout. I believe that is the second timeout. Make that the third. No timeouts left for Texas Tech with 4:37 to play. And so they are out of timeouts. No more opportunities to stop the clock. Billy Joe taking this particular drive very seriously because he wants to put something on the board. At the half, the Red Raiders had mustered 8 first downs to 15 for Miami.
Well, Bill, you know what keeps drives going? Just go back to the first half action, because that's really this game really was decided. But really, what really keeps drives going is the percentage of passes you hit in third down situations. Miami hit 5 of 7 for 71% in third down. Texas Tech was 4 for 9 for 44%. 44% really is not bad in that situation, but when you're going up a team that's going 71%, then it looks bad.
And I can still remember that one sequence of plays where 3 times after Texas Tech, or after Miami penalties, Testaverde came right back and completed passes, and he finally got a touchdown out of it.
That's right, and they had Testaverde in the hole when they did have him. Testaverde, being the athlete that he is, was able to dig the Hurricane out of that hole.
Tough missed pass play there from Tolliver. And it's now 4th down and another punt coming up here. Chris Burns, the deep man again. The Red Raiders missed their opportunity, and Burns will punt it away. Doing a good job. Nice kick there. Taken at the 38 by Perryman, and he's dropped on a nice open field tackle by Texas Tech's Tim Singley, the 5'10 junior from Killeen. 36-yard kick, a 6-yard return. Good field position for Torretta, who already has 1 touchdown pass tonight. And he is thankful for the opportunity to play tonight, trying to make the most of his chance. He's done well also. First down 10 at their own 46-yard line. Good defensive work up front by David Barksdale, number 72 at the bottom of the pile. I gave some background on Barksdale a moment ago, and he was having none of the running play. And so make it 2nd down and 10 as we wind down toward the 3-minute mark. Torretta 1 for 4, 39 yards, but in there is a touchdown drive that culminated in a 16-yard J.C. Penney touchdown run. Torretta wants a screen pass, dumps it out, has his man, number 26, Cleveland Gary, on the screen pass. Dal Watson drove him out of bounds.
Here it is, Miami just trying to get something going again. And they jumped that screen out. That worked earlier for him in the first quarter.
Look at Dal Watson coming through 2 blocks that time to make the tackle.
Yeah, they had it set up, but the Red Raiders were able to strip the interference and make a nice play.
2nd down, 3rd down, make that 3rd down and 2. As Torretta goes to Gary again, and Cleveland is taken down by the jersey sleeve by the Red Raiders that time. On the outside, I believe that was Troy Hennington, Rodney White, or Troy Hennington. Across the field over there, Hennington wears number 94. Hennington, we'll give Hennington credit for that stop. Upcoming next Saturday night, as we told you, New Mexico visits Lubbock for the final non-conference game of the year, and then Southwest Conference action starts. First down for Miami, by the way, as they measure. Have the ball at the 44-yard line of Texas Tech. Then on the 27th of September, the Baylor Bears, the nationally ranked Baylor Bears, come to town. A noon kickoff. at Jones Stadium, and that will begin conference play. How about this opening conference schedule for Texas Tech? They play Baylor and Lubbock, then go to College Station to play the highly rated Aggies, who were blistering LSU at last report tonight. Then Arkansas, a road trip to Arkansas, also a top 20 team. Tough start. Cleveland Gary, ball loose on the ground. The Red Raiders have it. Gary tried to get outside. He was drilled. Ball recovered by Durden. Tony Durden with a fumble recovery. And let's take a look at this again.
Well, the quick pitch to the outside. They're trying to get outside. Cleveland Gary trying to get out there, and the ball is just stripped out, and there's Tony Darden to fall on it. One of the few highlights for the Red Raiders in this ball game, but you can see that they're still playing, they're still hustling, they're still being aggressive, and they stripped that ball away from Cleveland Gary. The Red Raiders got the ball.
Nice hit out there by John Elliott of Texas Tech, and the third turnover here. 2 interceptions by the Red Raider defense and a fumble recovery, and almost intercepted in the flat by
83, Kevin Sprinkles.
the Miami defensive back Kenny Berry, trying to hit David Sprinkles. Billy Joe Tolliver still the quarterback, and he is determined to keep that ball up and try to get another score out of this, and I don't blame him. 61-11, a minute 57 to go here in the fourth period. Tolliver, who has had a tough night, brings him up to the line of scrimmage. Wayne Walker at the top of your screen. Bottom of your screen, Eddie Anderson. The flex end is Travis Price, just off the line of scrimmage. Play action pass and a forward pitch to Garnett. Some trickery that will get them a first down. Nice play. Very niftily done by Billy Joe Tolliver to Isaac Garnett.
We used to call that the old shovel pass, made famous by Roger Staubach to Preston Pearson.
That's right.
The shovel pass. You run that out of the shotgun. It's a very effective play.
And it gets him a first down here.
They didn't use the shotgun. They were under the center with it, but Tolliver, see the quick flip. The back comes underneath all the pressure. Well executed.
Very well executed. Into Miami territory. First and 10 at the 45. Still time, a minute 24. Delay, little cross buck. That is James Gary for Texas Tech. James Gray, I'm sorry, James Gray, the redshirt freshman from Trimble Tech. Former teammate of Irvin Ferris. That's a good-looking combo the next 3 years for the Red Raiders. Ferris, a sophomore. And Gray, the redshirt freshman. 4 wide receivers in the pattern. Make that 3 with 2 running backs. And another chance for James Gray. And Gray gets another first down, or he'll be very close to it. That moves the chains. 37 seconds left to play, and Texas Tech out of timeouts now. So let's hope for a score for the Red Raiders here. Trailing by 50, no timeouts left and a lot of ground to cover, 34 yards away from pay dirt. Billy Joe Tolliver as Eddie Anderson, Wayne Walker, top of your screen. That's who he's looking for. Open, but overthrows Walker at the 8-yard line. 17 seconds left to play. That will kill the clock. I think one of the big keys tonight, Drew, was the fact that as we pointed out in the third quarter, they just have not been able to get the ball to guys like Walker. Tyrone Thurman hasn't caught a pass tonight.
Well, they haven't been able to utilize the outside receivers. We have to give some of that credit to the Miami defensive secondary coach, Carlos Maynard, who used to coach the Red Raider defensive secondary. And when he coached the Red Raider defensive secondary, he had the secondary nationally ranked as far as stopping the pass. So, you know, he knew what was happening here, and that's what he did tonight. As we count down, 9, 8, 7, 6.
Well, Isaac Garnett gets the last pass, but that'll do it. The final play of the game, and I'm sure for David McWilliams, Drew, not a moment too soon.
That's correct.
He was a little bit outmanned tonight. Miami, an awfully good football team, a team with national championship aspirations. As you take a look at Jimmy Johnson and David McWilliams, Both former Southwest Conference players, now head coaches. Better days ahead for McWilliams. A learning situation tonight for the Red Raiders. They take their licks, though, no question about it. No way to sugarcoat a game like this. 61-11, the final score. Any final thoughts, Drew?
No, it's just a great performance by the Miami Hurricane, and now everybody in Texas knows why they are #2 in the nation. Well,
next week, the New Mexico team comes to Lubbock, so get out and support those Red Raiders. They need your help. They're 1-1 following tonight's game. 4 touchdown passes from Vinny Testaverde. A tough night for Billy Joe Tolliver. The final, Miami 61, Texas Tech 11. I'd like to thank our entire crew here at the Orange Bowl. For Drew Pearson, I'm Bill Coates, bidding you a good night from Miami, Florida.